What's going on, good people? Rich here, back at it again with another episode of the Culture Garden Podcast, best episode ever series. You know, I am not here by myself. I'm with my brothers Spike Lou and Charles Tiller. What's going on? Yeah, man. Before we get rolling, I do want to let everybody know there will be spoilers and explicit content. I want to get that out the way early. Explicit content. So if you're riding with your kids in the back seat, man, earmuffs, all that kind of good stuff. How y'all brothers feeling today?
Good,
feeling
man.
great,
Can't
man.
complain in the slightest. Feeling good.
All right, got a real quick question. Is your pussy wet, Charles Tiller? Tell me, Charles Tiller, do you have a wet pussy? Hey, man. We will be talking about Seth Green and his antics this episode, but I had to get that cold open because that shit's so silly, and his boys and his crew with him, man, make that shit even more silly. But it is good to be back here talking about season 5 of best episode ever, covering Entourage for the 20th anniversary. Before we get started, please remember to check the link tree. If you check the link tree in our episode description, you will see links to more content that we are all a part of. I won't go through the whole rundown right now because the list is getting extensive. If you watch it on YouTube, you can see Spike's backdrop, but all of that content will be available. Just click, and I guarantee you will be entertained by some of the other things that we have going on. Just because it's coming up, we got y'all. We will be recording Bel Air season 3 sometime this weekend, so that should be ready for you early next week, and we'll go from there. But also remember to like, subscribe, share. If you got a YouTube, if you watch us on YouTube, make sure you comment, leave an Apple review, Spotify, the whole nine, man. We just appreciate y'all showing love. Thank you for supporting. And if you are new to this, we are going through each season of Entourage to pick the best episode. Each one of us has a winner, and all of those winners will be going to the finale. I'll do a rundown of the picks so far in a second, but I do want to pay homage to the people who created this show and this great content that we're discussing. The show was created by Doug Ellen. He wrote a lot of the episodes as well. Mark Wahlberg and Stephen Levinson are executive producers, and the show stars Adrian Grenay as Vince, Kevin Connolly as E, Kevin Dillon as Johnny Drama, Jerry Ferrara as Turtle, and Jeremy Piven as Ari Gold. Before we get into our thoughts on season 5, I do want to give a recap of the picks so far. So I'm just going to go by each individual and what episodes they are bringing. Please remember season 3, since it was broken down into 2 parts, everybody took 2 episodes from that season. So we have Chaz with Busey and the Beach, Exodus, Sorry Ari, The Princess Bride, and Gary's Desk. Spike Lou, his winners have been The Scene, Exodus, What About Bob, Return of the King, and The Cons Kids. My winners so far have been The Scene, and Offer Refused, Vegas, Baby Vegas, The Resurrection, and The Cons Kids. Those are all the episodes that are moving on to the finale to have the final discussion where we crown the best episode ever of Entourage. We've been talking about season 5 for a minute. Ever since we started, I talked about how season 5 is one of my favorite, fellas. It made its debut on September 7th, 2008. What are your overall thoughts on the season? Spike Lou, we're going to start with you. What did you think about season 5?
Season 5 was an interesting season, man. Like, I was looking at some Reddit posts, man. We were getting some credit in some Reddit posts from another podcast that I do, and I put them onto this podcast, and they were saying that it slows down around this time. That this wasn't as strong as the other seasons had been. And I do feel like they kind of forced a couple storylines. Like they were trying to push to make something happen. You could tell versus just that natural, these are my homeboys feeling that you had in the first 4 seasons. With that being said, it was not bad though. Like I still get what I tuned into Entourage for with Ari and Lloyd and drama and like all the little miscellaneous events that happened for them. So yes, though it may have taken a step down this season, in my opinion, it's still really good.
Chaz, what say you?
First of all, I got a question of it taking a step down from what season? From season 4? Because this was way better than season 4.
See, I enjoy season 4 better than this.
And
I think this is right there with 3. Yeah, I like 4 better than this. It was a lot of like gimmicky stuff with this one, man, with Dom and just I don't know. but it was still good.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that I enjoyed season 5 a lot better, and I felt like season 4 was the season that went down, and this was the pick me up. I felt like the episodes where there were guest appearances, those are really good episodes. I felt like you got to see more of the dynamic um, between Ari and Ari and Lloyd. You got to see Andrew Klein. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just a lot of things that I really liked about this whole season. So and I'm not gonna say it's my favorite, but it's to me it's up there. It's up there.
I just want to let you know you a fucking heathen for liking the dynamic between Ari and Lloyd this season, because I don't even want to repeat some of the shit that Ari was saying to Lloyd. I was literally watching and I was thinking about Rex Lee, the actor who plays Lloyd, and I'm thinking like, man, he probably watches this and like fucking cringes at some of the shit that he put up. That's almost
It's almost
like if one of us was on a all white cast show and was subject to jokes about fried chicken and watermelon and all that shit. Like, bro, come on, man. We ain't going for that shit. But either way, yeah, they turned it up a notch. I will say both things are true. So I've already said it. This is one of my favorite seasons. I do enjoy it. I don't know if it's top 2. It's definitely not top 2. I don't know if it's 3 or if it's 4 or 5, whatever the case may be. But I do enjoy it, probably because it gave us a look at Vince's career if things aren't going well. And that was the first time we really saw that. We saw the up and coming, like, well, you know, he's not even a star yet, so we don't know, but he's already an established star, highest grossing film of all time. And now he's hitting that rough patch. To Spike's point, I do think they stretched that out a little bit longer than what they needed to. Having that storyline for the entire season did seem like a lot, even though there was a payoff in the end of it. But I would say this is the season matched what Vince was going through. It wasn't as light. It felt like, I don't want to say a darker tone, but it wasn't as light as some of the other seasons that we've already watched, because Vince is in the dumps and you realize how much Vince's mood carries the rest of the show and the rest of the people. You know what I mean? So it was interesting to see, but there were some things, and I mentioned this in season 4, where we started getting those episodes that really, they weren't the traditional Entourage episodes. They were just regular shit. And I think this one followed the whole season. Like I said, that whole storyline. But yeah, it was just an interesting season, man. I really did enjoy it. And I'm looking forward to discussing it with you fellas today. Also, it does, we've already talked about Spike Lee's favorite rapper, Saigon, in season 3. Now we have Spike Lee's second favorite rapper, Bow Wow, playing Charlie in this season. Spike Lee,
probably the best work he ever done.
Spike Lee was. Hey, listen, Spike Lee was singing "Fresh as I'm Is" before we pressed play on recording. You know what's funny? When I was watching this shit, I was literally thinking to myself, I say, he probably managed. He the reason Bow Wow doing SeaWorld performances. He probably managed that nigga right into the SeaWorld performance with Soulja Boy. That's still some of the wildest shit. If you told me Bow Wow and Soulja Boy, if you were in Orlando right now, if you were just on a random trip with your family and they had a surprise performance in those Bow Wow and Soulja Boy in 2024, I'd have been going fucking nuts. Not in a good way. Not like I'm excited. Just like, what the fuck is going on? Either way, man. Let's talk about some of those appearances that we had in season 5, since we're talking about celebrity appearances. Obviously, Bow Wow did not play himself. He played an up-and-coming comedian who was managed by E. Charlie. So let's get into the actual celebrities. Episode 1, we have Richard Roper, film critic. Episode 2, Mark Wahlberg and Tony Bennett. Rest in peace of Tony Bennett, man, a legend. Mm-hmm. Episode 3, one of my favorite Entourage cameos ever, T.I. T.I. is one of my favorite Entourage cameos, especially the one thing I love about Entourage is it's a time capsule. So they get stars at a certain time of their career. We talked about Kanye last year. That was right right before graduation dropped. So he's like right at that peak. He's already a superstar, and they don't even know graduation about to flip everything on his head. You get T.I. This is 08? This is after King. He's really like a star. Like it's no surprise that T.I. is on this. He got Jason Jeter next to him. For those of y'all who know Jason Jeter, CEO of Grand Hustle when Grand Hustle was super popping. AK House on the Hill right next to JG. Every week meet at Falant Restaurant to eat for free. If y'all know, y'all know. Speaking of, I want to ask you a question, Chaz.
Yes, sir.
Me and Spike, we've already had this conversation before, and we both agree on what T.I.'s best album is. What is T.I.'s best album?
First of all, how much do you like T.I.? Let's start right there. Is he like one of your favorite rappers? He just cool? Like, what would you say?
He one of my favorite rappers.
Okay.
I don't.
I'm about to say, I know Chaz fuck with T.I. That's why I'm asking him this question.
I fuck with him heavy. So I'm trying to think.
Let's see if we gonna go trips. This nigga is.
I keep wanting to say Urban Legend.
That's because that's the right answer.
And I just want to make sure that's the one with ASAP and Motivation on it, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's Urban Legend is his best album.
Yeah, Urban Legend is his best album. I just wanted to make sure you were on the same page as us. Good job, Chad. You can continue to be on this podcast. We got episode 4. All we had in episode 4 was The View, the cast of The View. Whoopi, Sherry Shepherd, Elizabeth Hasselbeck. Episode 5, we got a couple porn stars, Katie Morgan, Shay Jordan, and Cassie Young. We also have Eric Roberts, one of the most famous, non-famous siblings compared to their more famous sibling. I guess if I said that the right way. One of the most, Julia Roberts is Eric Roberts' sister. I don't know about y'all. I don't know if y'all caught this. Every single time I watch that episode, it trips me out that when they go to his house, my man is just rocking a Malcolm X jersey. That's just super random that he just got a Malcolm X jersey on. He got the X on the back with the Spike, the one Spike was doing back at the time of the film. So super random on that. Episode 6, we have Phil Mickelson. Episode 7, Jeffrey Tambor. Episode 8 and episode 11 and 12, we have Jamie Lynn Sigler. We will definitely be talking about her. Remember, once again, time of when this happens. This is a year after the finale of Sopranos. So this is a big deal. Obviously, Jerry Ferrara, who plays Turtle, was dating her in real life. Also in episode 8, we have Frank Darabont. Episode 9, Jason Patrick. Episode 10, Seth Green. Episode 11, we have Joy Bryan and Pete Berg. I don't know if this was for the show. Was Joy Bryan and Pete Berg like dating? Was that a thing once upon a time?
I
think it was. I think that was his real life girlfriend.
You know what? Never mind. Episode 12, we have Gus Van Sant. I'm about to say that's what I was getting to. That's why I'm like, you know what? Never mind, man. What's understood don't need to be said. I was about to say something else. So it would have made more sense if it was Zoe Saldana.
Absolutely.
Yeah, one of them two.
Yes.
Either way, episode 12, we have like I said, Jamie Lynn Sigler, Gus Van Sant, Michael Phelps, and then Martin Scorsese. Star-studded cast. It only gets more star-studded in season 6. They pulled out all the stops in season 6. Everybody who was an A-lister in season 6, they were on this show. We'll get to it next week when we talk about it. As far as the films go that Vince was involved in or discussed, Danger Beach, Benji, Smoke Jumpers, and Gatsby. Just got some questions to open up before we start talking about quotes and get into the episodes. Johnny Drama on The View. I use the phrase a lot where when something is so erroneous and crazy, I use the phrase that Batman could not beat that shit out of me. That is one of those moments where I don't care who it was. Whatever higher power, whatever you want, whatever you want to use, would not be able to get that information out of me on The View. On top of his castmates setting him up on national TV like that. Question for you. I'll start with you, Spike Lou. what are you doing in that situation? Not just in general, but also to your castmates once the show is over. Because I think a lot of them, deserve hands. Chaz, we're gonna start with you, brother.
You said, what would I do?
Yeah, in that situation. First and foremost, are you doing the Johnny drama? Are you admitting your love to Jacqueline on national TV like that? And B, once you know that your castmates set you up, not only just set you up on TV, they brought all their girls with them, knowing that you broke up with your girl, just to be funny.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I might have passed on the whole damn thing. I might have just been like, oh no, fuck y'all. Y'all on some bullshit. But there's no way in hell I would have made a scene like he made a scene on that show. You keep shit close to the vest. That's something you should have never. It should have never even got even to that point. Like after the first time he looked at his coworker and said, "I'm not playing," that would have been the end of it right there. Like that literally
go to commercial break.
Right.
Hey, listen, I was Turtle the whole time, just looking like, oh, please don't. As soon as you said, baby, I was like, oh no, I'd have ran on stage, bro. If that was one of y'all, if that was my man's, I'd have ran on stage. I don't care. Like I'm not about to let you go out like this.
Commercial.
I'm not about to let you go out like this, man. Ain't no, because I see where this is going. You begging and pleading. That peer pressure, motherfucker. Because they was up there like, come on, just say something to the camera. She's listening. What would you say to her? Nah, you ain't never about to get me on that. Nigga, I'll tell her, I'll call her after this shit is over. That is not for the world to see.
My bad, my mic was messing up when you said something first, Rich. When you asked me, but yeah, I'm like you. I'm calling from the side, like hell no, he ain't got nothing to say. Like I'm ruining the show for that. Like that was hilarious, and like only drama, bro. Like this could only happen to fucking Johnny Drama. Like he's the only person that this happens to, bro.
Absolutely. And now I'm really seeing my castmates because y'all trying to play. Because it's one thing about playing, but y'all playing on national TV. Like y'all brought all y'all girls and y'all asked me about my girl already knowing that we broke up. You sending pictures into the View. Like you're bombarding me in real life. Like, nah, bro. Somebody got to see. Like somebody catching hands.
Hey,
very stern talking to at the least.
His co-worker is definitely a habitual line stepper. Because he done had to check that motherfucker multiple times. like
facts. He don't believe Fat Meat Greasy. He don't believe Fat Meat Greasy.
I would have probably walked up the stage as soon as they like try to press the issue. I'm like, yeah, I'm done with this shit.
Yeah, man. We got Turtle and Jamie. Strong season once again for Turtle. It's funny because Turtle, he's been progressing each season. I've said it before. He has the best arc, I believe, of any of the characters on the show when it comes to just being his progression, where he started season 1 to where you end the series and even in the movie. It's always fascinating because it was always hard for me to gauge, like, when did this happen? When did Turtle just become like this person? Like he's always been a hustler, but he's starting to put it together. And I feel like this season, especially towards the end, he was really starting to put some pieces together. I'll talk about it once we get to episodes, but there were a lot of things that he referenced now that came to fruition in season 7 and other things. And Turtle just on top of the job, just wants to be a little bit more independent, which I can understand. Like you don't want Vince always giving you things or having to, put me in a position where I can make my own moves. And Turtle got the hustle for it, so I thought that was dope. I mentioned that him and Jamie Lynn Sigler were dating in real life. What did you think about the whole Turtle storyline with his dating world? I'll start with you, Chaz. Believable? Was it believable? Were you buying it?
Yeah, because he like even on the show, he seemed like out of everybody on the show, the person that I could actually truly say like, yeah, I would kick it with is Turtle. And now I'll say this. So it's believable that he can actually be cool enough to get a chick like that. I don't know if I think he got enough swag to, but obviously he did. You know what I'm saying? But you see his kind of like his track record. He done had some nice little cute little chicks that was feeling him. He had the Lauren London chick, and then he had, I heard, and then he had Jamie's character, but to be able to pull her in real life, I mean, shit, he must have been doing something. He a cool motherfucker, I think. Like he just come off as a cool motherfucker. Even in other shows, he came off as a cool motherfucker.
Nah, that's real. Even when and I'm gonna get to you real quick, Spike, but even in the episode First Class Jerk, like the way he even got at Jamie, like saw she was having an issue, changed seats because she wanted an aisle seat, so he can make that happen. I'll be the first to tell you, anytime you can do something, like if a woman see you do some shit, like make some moves for her, like that's already you got a leg up on things. Like I'm not just gonna sit by and let you go through this. I'm gonna make a call to action. Hey, my mans, you want to trade the seats? Bet. I'll get the window seat. I get to sit next to Jamie Lynn Sigler, and you get what you want by getting the aisle seat. Oh, you want a scotch? We in first class. Fuck it. I'll get up, grab a couple scotches. Ask for forgiveness, not permission. I live by that rule. Ain't nobody telling me I can't do shit. Like you gonna have to. Yeah, it's already being done when you telling me I can't.
Oh my bad. I ain't know.
Yeah, I ain't know, man. My bad. They was here. We first class. I ain't never been in first class. I thought this is how it works. But yeah, got her double, all that stuff, man. So you know, he made it real player. Wasn't too overly hype as far as meeting her. You know, some people just be blowing it just by being super fans. Like, calm down, bro. It ain't even that deep. And you know, Turtle doing that, I think that was real cool. Spike Lou, what about you? What did you think about Turtle pulling Jamie Lynn Sigler and the crew? The crew just giving him a hard time about it.
Johnny's response to it is hilarious throughout the episodes that it goes to. That's first and foremost. But yeah, this makes sense because, as Chad said, like he pulled her in real life. It ain't like some far-fetched fantasy thing. And I agree with like what Chad said as well. Like Turtle, the cool dude. Like every crew got the cool dude. He may not be the most popular dude. He may not be the richest nigga in the crew, but he the cool dude that people always gravitate to. They got everybody number. Everybody know him. Like we've seen this dude before. We've seen Turtle before. But so I'm not mad at it. But
my fault. Last season, how does Turtle know Kanye?
Right,
like, it makes sense for Turtle to know like Kanye. Yeah, you know.
If it's sneakers, if it's weed, whatever it may be, like Turtle into all the shit. So it makes sense. But I got a question for y'all. Not knowing how anything plays out for Turtle, could y'all be Turtle? Even though we just said how cool he is, like, could y'all be the Turtle of this crew?
Shit, Rich is the Turtle.
but
okay, let me tell you more about what I mean.
I'm about to say I got more hustle than that.
I was just about to say Turtle got a little bit of hustle, but ultimately he still wait on Vince to get paid. You know what I'm saying?
I'm speaking really pure coolness.
Okay,
like
yeah, I didn't take that as far as you saying it about original. I already know it. Like I knew you weren't saying that, but would y'all accept being in the Turtle position? Like I gotta hope Vince keep a job. I get, you know what I'm saying, my man's paying me out. Like, could y'all be that?
I'd be a mix between Ian Turtle. That would have been my whole thing because I can make those same connections and I can make a world outside of. I would never be comfortable needing Vince for everything, right?
So no,
like I know you go. I don't know if I could be Turtle because I got a little bit.
It's a hard question because he's cool. We like him, but
let me,
at the end of the day, we got aspirations. Like I don't know if I could be Turtle.
I was just about to say I can be if we in Hollywood at 20, 21, 22, 23. I can be Turtle.
Okay.
Cool. We just like kicking it on some, you know what I'm saying? My man's is on.
My man's got it. Yeah.
Yeah, we kicking it. Like we having a good time. But after a certain point, it becomes like, all right, man, I can't just be. We see it next season, the famous 50 Cent gift. Like I see you in your daddy's car. Like I can't, you ain't about to be having me around the city on some like, bro, Vince taking care of you shit. Like, nah, bro. Like I gotta be able to get my own. So absolutely, as far as supporting and the loyalty and being there for my friends, 100%. Knowing the connections, you out of weed, I got you. You need connected with here. You need to get in this club, this restaurant. Bet I don't even need Vince for this. I done made my connections over the years just by hanging with Vince. These people know me, and I can make that call. But just on some, I'll get a job. Like, nah, man, I can't do it.
You couldn't do it, Chance. What about you?
Nah. I like when we
ain't
first
crazy
to
say though. Because that's why I asked the question. I'm looking at it. I'm like, man, I couldn't be that. But he got a great life though. The nigga met Jamie and Sigler, all this shit. But I could not do it, bro. I couldn't. I wouldn't feel right about myself.
I couldn't do it, but I would, like Chad said, I would 1,000% would kick it with him, and I wouldn't look at him as a loser. I wouldn't think he was a loser. Like, oh,
not at all.
Nah, bro.
Not at all.
It's a weird conundrum.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, you kind of need a turtle. You kind of need a turtle. You know what I'm saying? If you have a turtle in your crew, then you know what I'm saying. Your crew is pretty solid. I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, so. But me personally, I don't. Like, even when we first asked that question, like when we first started this, like, what character do you represent? Like resemble? Yeah, no, I'm a lot like Ari. Like as far as drive, as far as motivation to keep going, just you know, to get out there and go get it. I can just rest on my laurels, knowing that Vince is going to provide, or you know what I'm saying, or waiting for Vince to give me. Nah. I got too much hustle in me, too much. I gotta go, like every day. You know what I'm saying? So,
nah, that's fair. I can see all of that.
I knew that would be a good question because I couldn't break myself to do it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it, man. I can't. I could be E. I could even be drama washed and still out here trying to, but I couldn't. Even though, again, like I fuck with Turtle, but I just couldn't be that guy.
Season 6, next season and on, I could be Turtle.
I could be it, but
first 5 seasons, I could not be Turtle.
Nah, I can't.
But I think when you start pulling women like Jamie Lynn Sigler, I think that's when you start like, you know what, it's time for me to put these plans in action. You know, because I'm not trying to have her. There's something about out kicking your coverage and knowing once one slip up and she gone. So I really need to get on my shit.
Oh, that's a really good point right there.
Yeah, that's some shit right there. Chaz, let's talk about something that you brought up. This is something you've been circling around. You wanted to have the conversation around it. We have a situation where Ari is offered the head of the studio of Warner's, and he's in a position to give Vince any job that he wants. Obviously, Ari is struggling with that decision this season. We'll talk about it when what unfolds. What are you doing, Chaz? Are you taking the studio job, or are you continuing to be Vince's agent? And if you're Vince, what do you want him to do?
So, very good question. So I'll answer the latter part of that, the Vince part first. If I'm Vince, I'm gonna say take the studio job. That way, I know that I'm always going to be rolling into whatever movie possible. That if you feel it's a hot movie, you can put me in it because I'm your boy. So if I'm Vince, I think that I would do that. If I'm Ari, I think I would have stayed like he did. You're building something special, and you don't want to leave before you see. If you're painting the Sistine Chapel or some kind of historic monument that you're doing or whatever, you don't want to leave before your masterpiece is finished. And I think because of that, not being able to see, you know what I'm saying, like some of your disciples come up and actually, you know what I'm saying, take their spot, you know what I'm saying, and become agents, not being able to, if he leaves, he doesn't get Andrew Klein doesn't make him that, you know what I'm saying, he doesn't come at him for the loan, so he doesn't offer him the position. It's a variety of different things that if he does leave, that just don't happen. So I think from that standpoint, I think I would have. From Vince's standpoint, I think that that's in order to, you know what I'm saying, there's got to be some kind of selfishness to you, and to know that you can get any and every movie that you want. That's pretty good, bro.
But here's the thing, and Spike, I'll throw the ball in your court here in a second. But I mentioned this to you, Chaz. I might have briefly mentioned it to you, Spike. Here's the thing that you have to think about, and here's the thing nobody really, you know, it doesn't go said, but it's a possibility. Ari as your agent means that he's looking out for your best interests at all times. Ari as the studio head means that he is looking out for the bottom line. He wants to make sure the studio is in the black and not the red. He now has shareholders to answer to. You know what I mean? It's not just the Miller Gold Agency. What happens in the scenario when you have a movie, a blockbuster come across your desk, and you really might be thinking, because remember, you don't just have your client list, you have all of Hollywood to your disposal now. What if I think Leo's going to be better in this role? What if I think Brad Pitt's going to be better in this role? What if I think George Clooney's going to be better in this role? This is my man's, but as far as the bottom line goes, and as far as the overall gross of this film, I might make more money with this as Brad Pitt is my lead versus Vinny Chase. So what happens in those situations? Because Vince can't, Ari can't just promise Vince every single role that he wants to do. That's just not going to happen. It's not realistic. And there might be a time where Ari has to look at Vince and say, hey, my man, I know you want to do this, but I can't. Like, I already got somebody connected with this. And then that starts, a rocky relationship or potential crumbling of that relationship. What were you going to say to that, Chaz?
I would say that you tell Vince to humble himself and do what he did for Smoke Jumpers. Sometimes you got to play Ray.
Sometimes you got to play Ray.
Sometimes you got to play Ray, and that's what I would tell him. Like, listen, as a studio head, I think that we love you on this movie, but Leo is the guy that we should be having the lead on. There's another nice role right here. Do you want to play that? If not, then we'll move on to something else. But
Ari, because one thing I know for sure Ari will do, he's gonna pay him his quote.
Yeah.
So if it's one of those things where it's like, bro, if you pay me the same amount of money I get if I was the lead, then fuck it, I'll do it. But It's just an interesting thought. Spike Lee, what about you? What you thinking? You taking that role? You taking that job, or you staying Vince's agent?
This is the easy answer because it happened in the show, but I think it was the perfect answer, and that's what Ari did. I'm putting somebody in motion that's gonna owe me a favor now because they wasn't never in motion. So now you sitting there, and it's just like me being able to get Vince any job I want because bitch, you owe me. And in the sense of what Vince said, like let's finish what we started. Like, yeah, I mean, let's finish what we started as far as what you wanted me to be and the way
I know what you're thinking.
What's that?
Hey, because when you talk about like bitch you owe me, I'm thinking to myself when you said, man, I got her this job, she'll let us double penetrate her.
Yeah.
Hey, Ari the worst type of nigga to owe a favor to, man. Because Ari go cash into that favor by times 10.
The worst. And he know that though. He know that, and he know I'm in a stronger position if somebody owe me a favor versus me taking this job because of everything that you said with the shareholders and still probably not being able to maintain that relationship with Vince that he did have. And I think that's important to him. This is great for his character, man. He don't got the personality to be a studio head. We seen my man's we'll talk about it when we get to one of the episodes, but him and Ari not the same type of dudes. Right. Like that, even though they was out there playing golf and they got some similar, like there's some similar things in their personality. Him and Ari still not the same kind of dude, and you seen that when they was out playing golf together. Ari can't be that dude, and I think he knew that, and it's why he did what he did, which was one of the best moves of the series for me. I think that was fine.
So I got a question though. I got a quick question. If by him not taking that, and you guys both said that was the best move. But had he did take it, do you think there would have been the outburst that there was from that director if Ari was the studio head versus Dana?
Hell no. He wouldn't even play with Ari like that.
Yeah.
Ari wouldn't even went up there like that. If Ari was a studio head, he wouldn't even went up there and check. He would have just fired that nigga. Vince having a problem with him, let's get somebody else in there.
Hey, even better. If Ari was a studio head, dude wouldn't even been the director. He would have never even got hired. Like, it wouldn't have been none of that. Like, unless that was already in play before he got the job. Like, I couldn't even see it. So I just think it looks
Who
different.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, who did he express to that he didn't want Vince for the film? Did he tell Dana that? Do we know that?
So we off screen, the only mention we have is that Werner was telling him, "Hey, you forced this guy down my throat. Your studio head forced this guy down my throat." So he must have said it to Dana, like, "I really don't want him." And Dana was like, "Nah, this is the only way you directing it. This movie's made with him."
Yeah,
and that's how it came. So he was like, "All right, fuck it, I'll take it." But we see the way he was treating Vince. Like, yeah, she knew, but she didn't think it was gonna get to that because it's insane. It's almost like when Ari was talking about the Aquaman situation in season 2, when Vince wanted off Aquaman because he was moping about Mandy Moore, which is still crazy. Bro, pick a batter. There's so many. You know what? Shout out to Mandy Moore. Shout out to Mandy Moore because
Hey,
I was about to go.
you're gonna have a
else.
different opinion of her when you start watching This Is Us, Rich.
No, I like
gonna
Mandy
appreciate
Moore.
it. You're gonna appreciate her a little bit more. I'm saying she gonna make you put some respect on her name after you watch This Is Us. I promise you that.
Bet. All right, man, that's cool. But my point I was making about that is when Ari told Vince, like, bro, if you quit this job, nobody will ever work with you again. And that's usually the premise. When you have big budget movies and you do something to mess it up, Hollywood execs, they talk. They talk, man, and it's like a a club of, hey, we're not like insider information in a sense. It's like, hey, we're not hiring this person. This person's cold. We see it going on with Vince right now. Like when he went on those studio meetings, like, bro, we can't risk this type of budget with you as the lead right now because ain't nobody really coming to see your movies, or you just came from a bomb. It's not a we don't like you thing. It's a this is business. Once again,
Right.
Our goal is to end in the black, not the red. So I don't know if we can sink 100 million in and you only bring in 70 when I know these other actors, as I mentioned, they can bring in the big bucks and they can make this movie a hit. So it's a tough situation. I have one other question that I'm going to ask when we get to the episode, but before we do, we got to talk about E. Sloan and Seth Green. Listen, y'all. Sloan told him he was talking to Sloan and said, he got a thing for you, and Sloan said, no, I think he got a thing for you, and you keep falling for it. Are you doing any of this? Are you playing nice with Seth Green? All right. So we got to think about it from the professional standpoint. He is now managing someone who has a pilot that they're pitching. The network wants to pick it up. This same network has an overall deal with Seth Green and said, oh, we already got a deal with this dude in place. We can just slide him in here. Knowing that you had beef with him, knowing y'all got in a fight in Vegas, are you even entertaining? Are you going to the pizza place and this nigga going somewhere else and say, oh, that's funny, I was there, but now I'm at the beach. I need you to come to the beach, asking you stupid shit like, is your pussy wet? Like, bro, oh, come on, man. What are we doing? Are you doing any of that? Are you entertaining Seth Green for the sake of business? Or are you just saying, man, fuck him, we got to pitch this to another network?
We got to pitch this to another network. And I might just beat his ass again off GP. Because I don't have the temperament to be dealing with a grown-ass man acting like that.
That shit's silly.
It's crazy as fuck. Just I don't have the temperament for it. So I probably would have. I just would have said nah. Like even on that conference call, I'd have called my client back. I'm like, yo, he ain't gonna do this show. I beat his ass, bro. Why didn't he just tell him that? I don't understand that shit. Like, hey, bro, I beat his ass, man. He playing with you, bro.
I'll just be up front. Like, I beat up Seth Green in Vegas. He's not gonna do the show.
He's not gonna do the show.
Well, I purposely didn't ask you guys this because I know the answer. Because I would like to think none of us are actually reaching out to Sloan, right? We're not going to Sloan asking her to call Seth Green, right? Ain't that like I couldn't believe that
that was just an excuse to see her. Like that was just an excuse.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Like I definitely would have reached out to Sloan, but not for Seth Green.
And she looked good in that yellow dress, boy. God,
man, Sloan cold.
Man,
listen,
Sloan
me.
Cold, bro.
But, man,
oh
yeah, I agree with y'all. It would have been like it would have been really hard for me to do anything with Seth Green as far as reaching out. But I would have looked at Charlie. I probably would have made one attempt. And once I seen he was on the bullshit, I'd have been like, look, man, you know what? This ain't gonna work. Because I whooped his ass, like y'all said, in Vegas. I would have told the blonde lady over, like, look, man, find somebody else or we'll do something else. But me, Seth Green, like, this not gonna happen. He playing around. I'm about business. Like, I would have had to be as stern with her and Bow Wow as I could be. I would have gave it one try though, just hoping that he was an adult like I was, nigga, bygones, whatever it may be. But as soon as I seen that he was playing, other than whooping his ass, it would have been like, look, y'all, we're not gonna be able to do this one.
Yeah,
he should have let them know early.
I said it before, man. Seth Green, the worst thing about him is he's the nigga that he don't learn from an ass whooping.
No,
like you can beat his ass and he gonna come back even stronger. And it's like, all right, man, like I can't do it, man. I would have told somebody up front too, like, listen, y'all got anybody else with an overall deal in the studio? Same thing, Charlie. All that I respect E for keeping it professional. All right, let me do what works for my client. But let me tell you up front, like it's gonna be an issue on set. And quiet is kept, even though E asked her, which he shouldn't have. I'm giving Sloan a call as soon as you really called this nigga? And Seth loved that shit. Like, oh, didn't you called her? That's why I'm here, right? Didn't you tell Sloan to talk to me? What up, E? Like, come on, bro.
But nah, though, you can't do that because he wasn't clear though. When she asked him, she was like, "Do you want me to call him?" He was like, "No, yes, no, yes." Like, nah, nigga, stand on that shit, nigga. Be a man. Be like, nah, nigga, I don't want you to call him. I really just want to see you. Now I'm Steph Curry out here. Hey, I'm Steph Curry. I'm shooting my shot again now.
Exactly. I'm gonna shoot my shot every time I see you. But you learn it. You learn in later episodes and seasons, nigga. He is fucking retarded. Now I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't even use the R word, but man,
right here though.
Hey,
he is kind of slow.
Man,
he kind of slow when it comes to the host. That is true. That is true, bro. That is very well said.
We're definitely gonna talk about that next season with Amy, whatever her name is.
Bro.
I can't remember her name, but yeah,
man,
this been from day one. This been from day one with the ex, with Ari assistant, like with the chick, the top model chick he got lucky with. Like it's crazy.
How long is E gonna hold? And we'll talk about that in the episodes. I don't know how long E gonna ride that one wave of hitting that perfect 10 model. Every time a model brought up, like, nah, E, remember he had that perfect 10. Bitch, that was season 2. Let that shit go.
Oh shit.
Like you ain't pulled. You hang out with Vincent Chase and you ain't pulling no other model since then.
Not
like
yet,
I'm hanging out with Vinny Chase. Like, come
That's
on,
fun.
man. But yeah, Sloan. Shout out to Sloan, man. Sloan is the type that's the when you talk about the memes with the outside in the rain with the boombox. Like Sloan is the type of woman you're doing that.
You better be that for Sloan. 100%.
Absolutely.
God, she bad, man.
And she got cake, bruh. Come on, man. She caked up all that. Come on, man. We doing it. All right, man. I'm sure we'll have some other conversations as we get into these episodes. Let's get into some quotes for the season before we actually get into our honorable mentions and top 5. So, Spike Lou, this is going to be your week to kick things off. What do you got for favorite quotes from season 5?
All right, just a couple here, man. So bear with me as I get through them.
Yeah, do your
First
thing,
one,
man.
Ari, listen, we need to get the 18 to 25-year-olds back, the ones that have forgotten you exist. Vince, they forgotten that I exist. Drama, do not take it seriously, bro. The whole country's on meth. Just the delivery. Like Drama is one of the I'll say this every week. He's one of the best characters in probably in TV history. They're talking to Marvin about Vince's finances. Turtle says, "Should I get an appetizer?" Marvin says you should go on a hunger strike. As far as regards that, Shauna, you're not wearing a tank top and fucking shorts on the View drama. Who do you think you are, Richard Simmons? Turtle, only gayer.
R.I.P. Richard Simmons too, man.
R.I.P. Richard Simmons. Ari calls Lloyd on an off day with Tom with him. Tom in the background, tell him to suck it. Lloyd, shh. Ari, tell him I heard that. Now seal your asshole up with cement if I'm disrespected.
Bruh. Ari was out here wilding on Lloyd.
Hey, I had to look at the screen twice on a couple of Ari lines this season. Like, man, I can't believe they let this nigga say that. Just 2 more drama tonight. I'm gonna fuck something so tall her scuff marks will be on my ceiling to prove it. Ari, how does Turtle know Jamie? Eric, he claims she jerked him on the plane today. Ari, oh yeah, I'm sure she's got a fetish for guys who are built like a South Park character. And Barbara, pretend I'm Julia Roberts. Andrew, tell me what you say to impress me. Ari, wow, Julia is amazing. How much you look like Eric Roberts. Hey, they was wild in this season, bro.
They was wild. They really were wild in this season, man. Quotes. I want to tell y'all too. I want to let y'all know, favorite quotes has been one of my favorite segments of this series. One thing Entourage quotes has been comedy. I'll kick it off next. Just a clever one. It's not one of my favorite quotes, but I just thought it was clever. This was from Jason Patrick, who's playing himself. He says to Vince, sequels on water is not for me. Obviously, if you're into movies, that's a reference to Speed 2, which Jason Patrick was in. Which is obviously not as successful as the original Speed. So I like when in the television show they joke on their real life selves.
Was Speed 2 on a boat?
Yeah, it was in the water and shit. Yeah,
Damn, I forgot all about that shit.
it's for good reason. Yeah. You got Ari talking to Eric. You got B Arthur answering your phones. Ari's quote, I didn't write it down for word for word, but that moment he was so upset about that damn script and Eric bringing that to him, and Amanda wanted to buy it. And the moment when he said she can't even hold my sperm sample, like you talking about some chick that can't even like get the fuck off my phone talking to me about Amanda Daniels. I don't give a fuck what she got to say. She can't even carry my sperm sample. I thought that was great.
Oh, it's funny.
I had the 18 to 25-year-old line, so you got me there, Spike. Turtle, when they talked about I forget the character's name. He played Chig on Sons of Anarchy, but he was the dude that had Danger Beach, and obviously it was a play. It was a play to get Emil Hirsch.
I think it was
Turtle
Carl
said,
Ertz.
Carl Ertz, there you go. Turtle said, let's go to his house. Let's go to his house and beat him in front of his kids. For some reason, anytime somebody says I'm gonna beat you in front of your children, it just always makes me laugh. Because that's like ultimate disrespect. Like I want to beat you up so bad, I'm gonna do it in front of your kids. Turtle, one of my favorite lines of the entire series, not just the season. So yeah, I forgot what he said to the girl, but she said, I told you I had a boyfriend. Turtle, you did, but you also said you lied to him. So maybe you could tell him that we didn't fuck today.
I actually have that too.
Yeah, Vince, how's the script really? Ari, I cried. Now, I don't know if I was crying because of the script or the fact that I'm trying to put you in a Benji movie, but I sat home alone last night in my bed and I wept. Turtle, is this your first time too, Ari? I thought everyone ate shrooms in the 60s. Let's see. Drama, just the delivery. Once again, to Spike's point, his deliveries are always on point because he's dead serious. It's like he's the only one that doesn't know that this isn't a joke. When they're leaving Joshua Tree and there's that fire and they see the trucks, the way Drama popped up, like, whoa, you think that's the victim's girl? Like, who the fuck says that after seeing the car crash? He saw a bad chick on the outside and said, you think that's the victim's girl? She got a nice rack. Like, come on, Drama. Come on, man. Read the room, my nigga. Another one this is wild, and I'm quoting the show. This is a wild ass quote. Drama said to Vince after Jason Patrick was stealing his lines, remind him that he got molested in sleepers. That'll throw him off balance. And then my last.
And again, it's the delivery though. He was so serious, bro. He was like, who thinks of that, bro?
If anybody, there's a famous clip. There's a black version of this. There's a black version of this where somebody met Clifton Powell. He said, "Ain't this? Y'all remember this dude? He was in that movie where he molested. He was like, hey man, pick another movie. Pick another movie, bro." Where it's like, damn, why you go to that one? But the fact that Drama, and if anybody's seen Sleepers, y'all know what it is. It's actually star-studded cast. Not a bad movie at all, but Jason Patrick's in there. The fact that he even said that, like, bro, remind him that he got molested in sleepers. That'll throw him off balance. Like, what? And then the last quote that I have, Dana Gordon, you're on speakerphone and my wife's in the car. Which is wild.
Now, as a person that I have to remind people not to put me on speakerphone, I completely understand where he was coming from on that. And I appreciate people let me know, hey, you on speakerphone immediately. Yeah, because I
don't know if I would have said the wife in my car part, but I would have. I got you on speaker. I got you on speaker.
Like, that looks too funny. That looks too funny, man. Chaz, what you got for your quotes?
Okay, so I didn't really go for the funny quotes this time. This is more towards the serious, more serious side, outside of the ones that you had already said. This one is a conversation between E and Ari. You calling to apologize, E says, and then he's like, no, I'm calling to tell you that I blame you for every bad thing that's ever happened to Vince and every bad thing that ever could happen to him for the rest of his life. You are the unfucky lucky charm. You hear me? You should never utter the words, I found a good script, because you have no idea what a fucking good script looks like. Live with that. Hey, just get a call from a motherfucker like, hey, you call it? No, motherfucker, fuck you. Every bad thing that has ever happened to your boy is all your fucking fault. Mm-hmm. But the crazy part is he kind of needed to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Like
his
he needed to
expression,
hear that shit.
E's expression, Kevin Connolly, who plays E, his expression after that was like incredible because that's exactly how it'd be. Like, I called you just to say this and I'm hanging up.
Right. Right.
I just want you to know you to call a nigga just to let you know you try. I just want to remind you,
Yeah.
you fucking suck at
You
your job.
trash.
Yeah, you trash.
I ain't even want nothing else, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I ain't want nothing else. I literally just wanted to call you and say that.
That's it. Another quote. This is Vince and Ari's conversation. Do you really have a plan, Ari? Really? You said you always be the guy to give it to me straight. So come on, give it to me straight. Am I going to be okay? And the fact that he answered, I don't know, was like Vince's. That was like the real wake up call.
Mm-hmm.
I think for Vince this season. You know what I'm saying? Like you see that a couple times. There's a conversation that he's having with Mark Wahlberg, and Mark asks him, like, hey, you know, he gonna be okay, right? And he's like, shit, it's 50-50. Off one bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just a bad movie though. It was
the most disaster that could ever be a disaster.
I was about to say that's what it is. It's the, like he said in another scene, it's the Jiggly effect. Like, bro, like this ain't you too big of a star to make a movie this bad.
It took Ben Affleck like 5 years to bounce back from that.
Yeah, bro, like for real.
Yeah.
Like it took Ben Affleck bad. He was dead in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he didn't make shit for a while.
That nigga had to do his own movies.
Yeah, he did, but hey, it worked itself out because he brought the town to us. Man. And I mean, shit. if you ain't do nothing else for the rest of your life, my G.
Yeah,
you gave us
the town, Argo, Gone Girl. Like he went on a run. The accountant.
He did.
Like, he got a lot of stuff that he went. Yeah, he definitely came back.
Yeah.
What else you got, Chaz?
Oh, so and just to continue that, he's like, I mean, one bad movie, and this is what happens. I mean, was it really that awful? Straight up, Vinny, the movie was awful. And yes, you were awful in it. But you know what? You know what one bad movie can be overcome. Look at Colin Farrell. He's overcome dozens of them because the perception of him is he's a movie star. And this is exactly this whole quote, and just in general, is why this particular episode is definitely made my list. I won't go into too much details. I'll wait until it's that time. One other quote that I have, when E brings 9 brave souls, which does turn into smoke jumpers. He brings this to Ari, and Ari yells at him, "No indies, E. Think of it like the Holocaust. Never again." Like I don't know why fucking E would bring a fucking indie movie to him, but you know, hey, listen, at least he had Ari on his side, so he can sell the movie. Ari's a great motherfucker to have on your team. I
man.
Say that less.
I would be so offended if I were Ari and that nigga brought that movie to me, bro.
Oh, bro.
Like, are you not listening to any? Do you not know the state that we in right now? And you bringing me this? I would have been pissed. And when they had the conversation, he was like, "Well, Vince don't want this," and he was realizing that, nigga, why are you even here? Like, it was a lot of those good moments in this season.
Yep, absolutely. I forgot to ask y'all before we get into our episodes. What was your favorite celebrity appearance this season?
I say Jamie Lynn.
Yeah. So it's probably a tie between Jamie Lynn and Seth Green, just because I like the fact that he keep being on the show getting his ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just kind of like that because Seth Green, he seems like a motherfucker. Like, just how you say like the turtle, the character of Turtle seems like a cool motherfucker. Seth Green seems like a motherfucker that you want to beat up.
Yes,
and it's not even just. I was about to say it's not even just Seth Green; it's his crew too. Like his crew lame. Like, bro, I want to beat all y'all up. Like, all y'all lame. Like, I'll go down the line. Like, Baby Boy, I'll line all y'all up and just one by one, just. And I'm taking off my belt for Seth Green. I'm giving you a whooping, ass whooping.
I'm slapping him a couple times, like the bitch slapped like that a couple times.
You got to. Mine would be, I'm gonna say T.I. and then Eric Roberts, man. I really enjoy Eric Roberts' cameo because it's just completely random. Why does Drama know that Eric Roberts is the go-to guy to get some shrooms? Like, why? How do you get that rep in Hollywood? And he knows all of them because remember when they came to the crib, he was saying, "What's up, the turtle?" He knew all of them, so it wasn't the first time. And the randomness of Hollywood on some, oh, y'all going to Joshua Tree? Shit, I'm trying to create, man. Let me. I want to observe y'all. Shit, let's pull up. And Joshua Tree ain't like you got to make a drive for that. So it ain't like I'm clearing out my day to go do this with y'all. I just thought it was completely random.
Is Joshua Tree in California? Is that in California or is that in Vegas? I mean, not Vegas, but it's in
Nevada. No, it's in California.
Okay.
What were you about to
say? That's where Tony
went.
I was just saying that's where Tony went too, right?
Tony, I don't think he went to the Joshua Tree. He went somewhere. He was in Vegas. I know what you're talking about in the Heidi,
when
the Heidi
peyotes
or whatever. Yeah. I don't know if that was Joshua Tree. It might be. Let me see.
Joshua Tree is in San Bernardino, California.
Yeah,
north of Palm Springs.
Yep. So it's down there like.
I might go check that out.
I guess it's all right. So it's east. Yeah, I thought, man, I ain't gonna lie. It made me. Has any of y'all ever tripped? That's what I was gonna ask y'all.
Mushrooms? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chaz, you know obviously the famous Tone story, Bart Simpson.
That wasn't mushrooms.
That wasn't mushrooms. Oh
no, that's when we did salvia.
Hey, y'all niggas wild. I'm glad I missed that day. Yeah, I'm glad I missed that
day. Salvia?
Yeah, our
salvia is a herb like marijuana, but it's a very intense high, but it only lasts like 5 to 10 minutes. But during that 5 to 10 minutes, you're gonna go on a trip. You're gonna go on a trip.
Our boy literally said he saw Bart Simpson walk down the steps.
No, he thought he was Bart Simpson, and
he thought he was Bart Simpson. That's what it was.
He thought Barks was Marge, and he got on the bed and he asked him, "Mom, what are we?"
That's funny. I was in the 8th grade, and we went to a high school football game, and one of my homeboys had a white friend, and then the white dude was on nigga took some acid, like LSD or whatever shit, before we went to a football game. I swear to God, the nigga spent the second half running around the track. He said the M&Ms was chasing him. This was when the M&Ms had just came out, like the ones that you see on the commercials. Yeah. He swore to God that they was chasing him around the track, bro. Like legit terrified. I said, I'm never doing that, nigga. He was legit terrified. He said, man, the M&M, like I'd never forget that shit ever in my life. It was in the 8th grade. But I've tried shrooms before though. Yeah, hey, it's cool. As long as you're in it's a good spot.
Yeah, shrooms is wild, man.
You never tried it, E? I mean, you never tried it, Rich?
Hey, fuck you for one. Yeah, I know, right? He got to get a fuck you for that. I tried it once, but I didn't take enough. I didn't take enough to really feel anything. I remember when I took it. I remember who I was with. We went out and kicked it, but I never felt anything. But I got the speech like everybody else get the speech, like, hey, bro, these don't taste good. So I had a piece of bread with it, but it was just a little bit. I was too nervous about how this is going to go. So I didn't take as much as I probably needed. But if I was in a buddy system setting in nature, I could definitely see myself as long as there's no hills. Because I've heard of people like tripping out so bad and like running to the edge of the hill and not knowing they're there and rolling down and shit, breaking their legs. I'm like, so
I could see that. Yeah,
a lot of precautions that I got to take with it, but I would. So let's go ahead and get into these episodes for season 5. Spike Lou, once again, we'll start with you. We'll go to me, and then Chaz will round it out. So let's talk about your honorable mentions, and then talk about your 5th episode.
Honorable mentions, I have the All Out Fallout, episode 2.
That's episode 3.
Episode 3, excuse me. Also for honorable mention, I have Tree Trippers, the aforementioned, what we just got done talking about. Those were my 2 honorable mentions for this season. And for 5, I have Redemption, man. I enjoy watching them out there playing golf, the back and forth between him and Ari. I like that. I related to that, being a golfer and seeing that and just them putting it on the line for that. So that was kind of like a personal one for me that I liked, and when I slid it in there at 5. So give me Redemption at number 5.
Okay, then I can see you. There's gonna be another episode next season that you really enjoyed as well. All right, as far as honorable
And my
mentions,
man's,
I
I'm
have
sorry, real quick. My man's out there that was playing with them, bro. It ain't nothing worse than that right there. If you
Bob
play
Ryan
golf, Bob
talking.
Ryan out there, oh boy, it ain't nothing worse than that. You want to hit that nigga with the club. I know Ari wanted to hit him, bro. But that was hilarious element to add to it too.
Nah, I ain't mad at it. Honorable mentions. I have Unlike a Virgin. Second episode where Vince is like really hitting that moment where it's like, yo, he left the party and went to go see Ari. Hey, bro, like I ain't cool with what happened this morning, man. I'm Vincent Chase. Like he said it. Like, how you doing, Vinny? Not good. And I ain't said that a lot of times in my life.
I'm surprised you got that low. That it didn't even make your list.
Nah, it didn't make my list. It didn't make my list. I love it, but it didn't make my list. That was one of the tough ones that was hard to cut. I had that one ranked higher than the next two honorable mentions, which were Fire Sale. We talked about it a little briefly with Drama on The View that episode, and them trying to sell that script, or Eric going back and forth with Amanda Daniels. Listen, Amanda Daniels, yeah, her and Shauna, her and Shauna. And
Shauna
then,
low key, like a lot of people don't give Shauna the credit she deserves. Shauna, like, come on, bro.
Yeah, man. We done seen Shauna regular. We done seen her pregnant. She didn't slim back down. You know what I mean? The lights, the room was cold in one of them scenes this episode. See a little, the headlights was on. Yeah, man. I'm going for Shauna. And then she looked better. She looked better this season than she did in Goodfellas to me.
Yeah, I can see that.
In my opinion,
I can see that.
Now, Goodfellas, you got that 80s hair and makeup and shit. So that's part of the reason why. But either way. And then also yeah, absolutely. And then First Class Jerk was another honorable mention for me. My number 5 episode is going to be Tree Trippers. It's funny because we got a comment early on, like right when we announced this episode 1. I can't remember if it was on Instagram. I should have looked back, but there was somebody who made a comment either on YouTube or IG and said, I'm going to save all y'all some time right now. The episode where they go to Joshua's Tree is the best episode. I do not believe that. However, it is an enjoyable episode. Them going out to Joshua's Tree. Alan bought smoke jumpers and pretty much fuck Vince. He ain't even gonna be the person that says we're all out of blueberries. Like, I'm not fucking with Vince. He ain't got no role in this. Him trying to decide if he's gonna do Benji for the $3 million or if he's going to do smoke jumpers or whatever happens. Them just tripping out in the desert. I thought that was great. The Aston Martins got repoed. Ari had a great point, and you see this in Hollywood all the time. And I'm glad he said it out loud. Listen, you should take this job just for the same reason 90% of people in America take jobs, because you need the money, right? It ain't time to think about your artistic value and all that, bro. It's $3 million to do a fucking G-rated movie about a dog. Like, I don't know what it's gonna be, but you broke. Marvin told you living off your black card. It is something to at least consider. Don't throw this away because it's the only real offer that we've really had. Another line that made me laugh, when Drama made eat that sandwich, or he said, you pack a lunch for the rest of us or just for Junior? Him calling E Junior was just hilarious to me. And then obviously the E makes Vince good. Vince is tripping. E makes Vince good. I want us to be good, and just that connection between them two. I don't know if Vince must have been tripping if he said that, but just how he views E in his relationship and how much it's like a really 50-50 thing. He credits a lot of his success to E, and it's funny because we give E such a hard time. So that's my number 5 episode. Chaz, what's your honorable mentions? What's your number 5?
All right, honorable mentions. First Class Jerk, The All Out Fallout, Redemption, and Seth Green Day. That was Seth Green Day was hard to leave out of my list because it was pretty fucking funny to me. But
one of the funnier episodes of the season, like the one that didn't have that like darker tone.
Yeah. However, I went with my number 5 being Fantasy Island. Yeah. It was a great way to open the season. You see Vince and Turtle loving island life. If you've never experienced island life, or you know what I'm saying, trips to Mexico where you're, you know what I'm saying, you're laying on the beach and you know what I'm saying, in a secluded spot. If you never experienced that, then please get your passport and get out there and see the world. So because it's nothing like it. Um you got drama just being drama. Doesn't want to be complicated for no fucking reason. like hey, just refusing to shoot on his left side, just being drama. You
I
get
kind
this,
of
this
go
the
right.
first, yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
I
I
don't go right.
don't, yeah.
Oh,
You got E hasn't, this is the first introduction to E's new client. You see him actually branching out. You got Ari talking, Ari goes and talks to E about getting Vince so they can try to get him into a movie, get him back into civilization, because he is really just chilling. He's really just chilling at this point and not doing anything that he's actually supposed to be doing. He's not being seen. You know what I'm saying? You don't want your guy to disappear from the, you know what I'm saying, the face of the world. You know what I'm saying? So it was good that they went and got him. Ari being fed up with anybody that even says anything remotely about anything at his office when it goes to Vince. And you see that you know, he takes a little bit of credit for fucking up Vince's career. So that was a good, you know what I'm saying, a good starting point to how this season is gonna go. And so I had that as my number 5.
All right, we're gonna jump to Spike for number 4, but before we do, I know I said I couldn't be Turtle. This is one of those rare episodes I could definitely be Turtle. My man's is down and out. You want to go camp out in Mexico for a little while? Bet I'm with you.
Yep.
that's the thing, like you said, like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's a very like question as to where you like, damn, what could I do that? And then you see it and you're like, hell yeah, nigga, I could do that. But then you think about it and you're like, nah, I don't know if I could do that. Because
Yeah,
but
man.
yeah,
On the jet skis with the women, man. Vince just, bro,
oh,
Vince, even when
man.
he down, bro, he just live a life. All them women on the beach,
Jesus.
they cooking fresh fish, like
Oh
all
yeah.
types of shit, man. He's still
Yeah,
getting the check.
like I
How long
said, if
y'all
you
think
never
he was out
if you never did that, if you never you know what I'm saying, spent a week out in Mexico or the DR or Colombia or Cuba or you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
Trinidad and Tobago, if you've never been to any of these spots,
Hey,
man.
Belize is a sneaky one. If y'all never been
I've
there,
heard
check that one
I've
out.
heard about
Belize is
Belize too.
hey, yeah. But yeah, I agree with you 100%, Chaz. Like everybody need to experience that.
Mm-hmm.
You
How
said
long
how
y'all
long
think
was
they
he
was
out
out there?
there?
How long you think he was out there?
At least 6 weeks. At least 6 weeks. I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
was
they
gonna say at
said it,
least about
but at least 6 weeks.
at least a month and a half, maybe 2
Yeah, I say
months.
the
Yeah.
same, about 6 weeks.
But
All
shit,
right, what's
it's easy to not want to come back.
You get out there and you be like, fuck it, I can live off the land, pull a Omar.
yeah?
Bro, you living off of what, $60 a day?
Man,
I think what he
facts.
Back
said, like
then, that was probably
some
about
dollars a day.
$60 a day.
Yeah.
Man, what?
Yeah,
All right,
I ain't mad at
episode
it.
4. We doing 4 and 3.
Just 4.
Just for Seth Green Day, man. I like. I think Rich or either you or Chad said it earlier. Like Seth Green, like really feels like he just being himself in his character. Like he really feel like he that type of dude, as to where you want to hit him in his face. I appreciated the whole scene with Vince and Werner and just Vince kind of. This is the first time that we get a glimpse of somebody that really don't fuck with Vince. Like, everybody usually fuck with Vince. You know what I'm saying? And it started to peel right here, and we'll get into the other episodes, of course, because I got one of them on my list. But it was interesting to see in this world where somebody didn't fuck with Vince, because everybody always fuck with him, and I thought that was really interesting, and that's why I had this at 4.
I ain't mad at that. My number 4.
And Ari mentioned man Andrew Klein. That
Yeah,
too.
Andrew Klein, man, real strong character. I'm a big fan of Andrew Klein. We're gonna get to see him more in some of the future seasons, season 6, season 7.
Mm-hmm.
Not around in season 8, but I am a fan of Andrew Klein. I'm just a fan of that actor anyway. For some reason, I can't think of my man's name, even though I'm a big fan. What is his name? Damn, why am I tripping? Why can't I think of his name?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of
Played
other
Ricky
things
Bobby's
I've
daddy,
seen.
right?
He played Ricky Bobby's dad. He played he was not Greg Brady, the Joe Brady, whoever the dad Brady was, Gary Cole.
That's his name.
Gary Cole. Number 4 for me is probably ranked a little bit too low, but I have another personal favorite that I have in the 3 slot. So number 4 for me is going to be gotta look up to get down. That comes in at number 4 for me. E, like I said, he's riding the wave with this perfect 10 model. Vince is so down and out that he can't get a film job, so the fashion world is hiring him. He is doing a Dolce & Gabbana campaign. Obviously, he has a connection with someone or with a woman that he's supposed to be doing this with, and the director or the creator, curator, whatever you want to call him, has an issue with that and fires her. We obviously think because he's trying to be controlling and make sure that, he wants to get with her, and the whole premise, he must want to get with the model, when we really find out that, he really wants Vince, which is just being in a meeting like that and somebody looking at you dead in your face and saying that with a serious face and really think they got a shot at you.
Well,
like,
that's
Vince
the most,
is like, nigga, Vince is like, there is no competition. Like, what are you talking about? Like, why would you even consider that?
That was the most uncomfortable line I probably ever heard. That any man has probably ever said to another man. When he said, I'm not a what do you say? I'm not a gay man. I'm a straight guy that likes to suck cock or some shit like that. He said,
that was so cringe.
What? Bruh.
So crazy. To say that dead serious in your face is nuts. Like, that's just the audacity of it is wild. We have Alan's funeral, and obviously John wants he wants Ari to replace Alan as a studio head. He gifting them with the Audemars Piguet watches. He got the private plane to go to Geneva. You want to spend a Wednesday in Switzerland? I'll show you how it's done. Like, that's how you roll out the carpet for somebody. This is a big boy life.
That's
like,
a pitch. That's a pitch right there. Yeah, like you want to do this?
Yeah, and it's coupled with Ari stressing at his normal job. Like, bro, you look around and you look at your life and what you got to deal with. You know what? A trip to Geneva on a Wednesday does not sound bad. You know what I mean? Especially when my man John said, I don't fuck around when it comes to $1 billion deals. Like, bro, we doing big boy shit. Big boy shit over here, man. You want to get on the wave or not? Like Dame said, man, better get under this umbrella before you get rained on. So that whole episode, the model treating E like a kid, like leaning into him, like pinching his cheeks. It reminded me, and I forgot to say this.
That was good.
I forgot to say this in season 4. Season 3 with the Yair situation. Remember we had Yair's wife wanting to fuck Vince. She was clowning E too. Like, when E came to the house, she was like, oh, you have tiny hands. And this nigga E looked like, what the fuck? And Ari even gave him some shit. Like, yeah, you a little nigga. But that whole thing, the back and forth. I shout out to Mo, our brother Mo. He mentioned that black model that was in the room when Vince looked for Natasha. Listen, we don't have to talk about this, but I know she's talking about, I was just testing you. I'll tell her you was a good guy. If Vince said he was down, she would have been in that bathtub with Vince. Facts. In no question, in no second, like, easily. And then, that's pretty much it. It was just a great episode. And really the whole thing, the driving force was the proposition to Ari, hey, you can run the studio. And what that decision looks like. I think the dual private planes at the end of the episode, that was just a dope scene, and all of that. So, Chaz, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is Tree Tripping. Or is it Tree Trippers or Tree Tripping?
Tree Trippers.
Okay. For all the reasons you mentioned. Plus, I like seeing. I like the the weird ass effect it had on E, where he couldn't talk. And so if you ever have been around anybody that's doing shrooms as a collective, there's enough people doing them, somebody's going to be somebody's going to be on some weirdo shit. Facts. Guaranteed. Like there is no everybody has a great time and great trip. No, somebody is going to have the weirdo effect. So the fact that E was acting like he couldn't talk and Ari got lost, and that is some scary shit, being lost in the desert.
Oh my god. On shrooms?
Listen, lost in the desert on or off shrooms. Either way, it's very scary. Okay. Then you'll say you lose your dog. like that was just some shit. Like, I could see all of this shit happening, you know what I'm saying, during the course of a fucking trip. Like,
You really got snakes, coyotes, and scorpions out in the desert, like on some real shit.
Yes,
Facts.
yes. Like that's what I'm saying. I don't think I would ever want to go to Joshua's Tree, just because like there's nothing. I don't think that I need to be out there in the desert like that. Just
One of
me
my
personally.
one of my favorite things to do is smoke weed in nature. Like
That I love.
When I went to Denver, I
Oh,
went up
Denver's
to the top
beautiful.
of Pikes Peak. I went to the top of Pikes Peak. I made sure I smoked up there. Like anytime I get a chance to I smoke anywhere for the most part, but anytime I get a chance to be out in nature, I'm definitely rolling up and lighting up just to kind of be one. That's my version of grounding. When they talk about grounding, that's my version, just being one with nature and nature's plant.
That's when shrooms are best too, though. When you're out
Yeah,
in
that's
nature, like I
Yeah,
popped some shrooms before I went to go play golf, and just like the birds and shit chirping, it feels different. Like it's
were
weird
they
to
talking to you?
explain. Damn near, Chaz. It was like, damn, you hear that, bro? Like,
Hey,
oh, damn.
Hey, y'all remember, hey Chaz, remember in the boys when Noir he'd go back to them flashbacks and them cartoons and shit? That's what Chaz
Yeah,
was.
like
That's
the
what
little
Spike. Yeah.
yeah,
with the little
Spike
birds
was,
and shit coming. That's what
Spike
it's
was sick.
like, though.
no,
If it was a visual representation, that's what it would be like. That's 100%.
yeah, no, on some real shit. Yeah, no, it's definitely real similar to that. Like
Yeah,
I've had
that's
nothing but good experiences off shrooms, but like I said, I've been around people that were doing weirdo shit.
you can't fight the high. You got to embrace it.
Yeah, no,
You see some weird shit.
the worst thing that ever happened to me while I was doing it, I couldn't stop laughing one time. Like
It's like a
I might
regular
have,
day for you.
yeah, no, but this was like, it was like I literally could not stop laughing I laughed right for like an hour straight.
The worst thing with me was drinking with it. Like, I'd never do that again. I'll never
Ooh.
drink alcohol with shrooms again.
Yeah,
Those two don't mix.
yeah, man. There's some random session. I don't. I just for some reason, and we'll move on to number 3, Spike. But I just randomly thought about Chaz. I remember one time, and I don't even know how this happened, bro. I had like a bunch of deltas from BG come up to the crib, and like I made a strawberry cake. Remember, I baked a strawberry cake, and we was all eating it. Like I was giving it to the chicks, and we were super high. And that was the same night that Blake Griffin dunked on the dude from the Knicks. Like we was watching that live when it happened. Yeah, I don't know. We just had some random moments, man. Just one of those. Yeah, when you sit down and just get high, you can have some stories to tell. Number 3, Spike Lee. What you got?
Number 3 for me is First Class Jerk. This is the episode, of course, where he meets Jamie Lynn Sigler, and you know he has to tell drama about what happened, which was hilarious. Ari doing Amanda Daniels a favor as far as getting her the head of the studio and
Dana
trying
Gordon.
to prevent. Excuse me, Dana Gordon. Yeah, Dana Gordon. You're right. And Josh Weinstein using Ari to distract the court to Vince's filmmaking. Ari gets Dana to take over for Gordon. So yeah, First Class Jerk was good for me. It showed Turtles peak as far as what we would see from him in the next season and what to expect from him. I like that he's able to pull bad bitches and shit. So yeah, First Class Jerk for me.
I appreciate the fellas when Josh Weinstein was trying to like talking a little greasy, and the way they all just stepped up, like, bruh, like walk away before this shit get bad in front of you. Like we still a little regular crew from
regardless
New York,
of what
from
you
Queens,
thought it
bro.
was.
Like, yeah, man. Like you don't talk slick about it. I like that part. My number 3, I think it was in both of your honorable mentions. One of my favorite, probably because there's a moment in this episode that's one of my favorites, but I do enjoy it. It does have that T.I. cameo that I mentioned. But the all-out fallout, Ari gets a Ferrari for his anniversary. Vince is broke. Marvin's telling him you got to file for bankruptcy. Now is not the time for your pride. Spike, you mentioned one of your quotes about going on a hunger strike. It was in that scene. Drama would definitely be the type of nigga. He talked about he filed for bankruptcy 3 times. I can see that. That is just only Johnny Drama. Only Johnny Drama. Vince is to the point. Once again, all of these arcs we see where Vince is in his career, he is literally at the point where he has to go check out Sweet 16 birthday parties. Like that is how I have to get paid because I'm not getting any movies. They want him to do some wild shit. I mentioned the T.I. appearance, man. Those officers were out of pocket. Like, bro, come on, man. Come on, man.
I don't know
like,
what I would have did in that situation other than try to run out of there. I would have been so
I'm
mad,
not
bro.
getting as soon as they would have tried to arrest me, like don't put your hand, like what are we talking about?
Oh my god, bro!
And I get the setup because he really thought they was cops, but once you rip and the whole staff out here watching y'all laughing, somebody in this office got to have my back.
Mad.
Lloyd talking about
so
close your eyes,
bro.
Lloyd talking about close your eyes and think of the pussy, and then man, pause, man, super
I couldn't
pause,
even
man.
I couldn't even imagine that happening to me, bro.
That's what I
would have had a nervous fucking breakdown, bro. I couldn't imagine that happening to me, bro.
Imagine being T.I. like you in the middle of a meeting. I'm talking about what movie I want to do. Hold on, Officer, which was funny because obviously T.I. had all the trouble with the guns, but then you just see these niggas. You see these niggas come out with the boom box and start stripping. Like, what the fuck you got going on in here?
Hey, what y'all be doing in here, bro?
Exactly. Shauna telling Drama to stick to chili festivals instead of Sweet 16 birthday parties. That's just some wild shit. And then, like I said, the Ari and Adam practical war joke. Listen, you got to teach people how to treat you.
You're right.
And sometimes people think that this shit all sweet. Like, you already know we ain't cool, so I don't even know why you're doing all this. I don't know why the back and forth. I guess Adam Davies thought Ari was sweet. Now I do get it. Like, I sent you pictures of your girl, but that was just on some like, this ain't your wife, bro. This ain't the mother of your children. There's certain lines that you don't cross. No matter how much I don't like somebody, like even the most gangster of gangsters have a no wife, no kids rule, right?
Right.
Like, there's just some lines you don't cross, and you sending me explicit photos or some old shit that my wife did, and you send it in an email thinking that shit funny when we ain't even cool. Even if we was cool, like, that's a no-go. But we definitely ain't cool. I loved how Ari was so mad. It wasn't I need to stop and think. Like, immediately my nigga left. I don't care what meeting I got, that shit getting canceled. I'm leaving. I'm not even driving. I'm running to their office and I'm finding him. Dog. I'm going to see him right now. Like,
and the bitch slap is one of the best moments of the series.
One of the best moments of the series.
Josh Weinstein is one of them niggas. We brought it up before. We talked about it. We know what this person is. There are people out there that have never been punched in their mouth before, and they don't understand the shit that they could do to get punched in their mouth. And Josh Weinstein is one of those.
Adam Davies.
Adam Davies. Yeah, my bad. Adam Davies is one of those dudes. Like, he had never been hit in his mouth before. So Ari had to show him, like, okay, I'm going to show you, like, there's certain shit that you just can't do as a man unless you expect to get hit in your mouth and you want to fight.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And there's something to say about when you somebody as powerful as Ari Gold and you still do that. That lets you know right now, I don't care about none of this shit, bro. Like, my pride.
You said I'll risk it all.
Yeah, I'll risk it all. Just to let you know I don't play like this. I do not play like this, bro. Like, stop playing with me. Go find you something safe to play with. To quote Beans. Don't play with me. Like, I'm not here for none of that. Go ahead.
It's funny that T.I. happened to be in this episode because it reminds me of a T.I. line. So I don't know what you would do for your respect, but I would die for mine. Hey, and that was some real shit. Like, he really went over there like,
I'm gonna smack you in front of all these people.
Man, that was the best part.
All your lawsuits, all this shit, bro. Like, you got me fucked up.
The reaction, that's the best part. It's not just I slapped you because you thought this was a game, but I'm telling you to apologize right now before I knock your ass out. And when they cut away to like his staff and they laughing and shit, like, hey, like, because if you saw that shit, if you was working at that agency and you saw that shit happen, there's nothing Adam can never say to me ever again. Like, no respect, you can't do shit. You might as well pack up your boxes and leave, bro. For real, because what you gonna tell somebody? How you gonna fire up the troops when I just saw Ari come through and smack fire out of you? I don't even know what it was about. We don't even know
to his fist. Yeah.
Like I told you right now, I'll go outside. I don't give a fuck about none of this. Like, stop playing with me. I just thought that was one of the best moments. Obviously, Drama drunk, fucking up the bag and all that, but that's one of my favorite personal moments within the series. I think combined with that moment and T.I.'s appearance, it just made for great television. So it's a personal favorite. That's why I have it at number 3. Chaz, what you got for number 3?
Before we get to that, I got a quick question about this shit, because this is something that always bothered me. Why was Vince broke? When you have the line to film commercials for $500,000 for a day of shooting, how were you broke?
Because Vince ain't that type of dude. Yeah, he ain't that type.
But you did it once. If you did it once, you can do it again. You can literally do like if I'm, and this is why I'm saying this is why I have so many issues with E, Because if nothing else, if I know that I ain't, if I know that I'm fucked up on this movie and shit like that, as my manager and my agent should both be like, hey, you know what? We're gonna send you over here, and we're gonna send you over here. You need to do a movie. You need to do a commercial, at least one commercial a month, so that you always have some money coming in. As my manager, as my agent, this is what I'm saying. But because they were both contentious towards each other, I think that, you know what I'm saying, while he's trying to help him get the movies, you should have been on the back end making sure that your man always got a line of money coming in. This is why I have such an issue with E. This is one of the reasons why I have such an issue with E.
They don't address it, but the only thing I'll say to that is I'm assuming that Vince is so he's so far gone that if he started doing that he might just be washed up in that whole routine. I get your logic, and I probably would agree with you. I'm doing those commercials because the whole setup was they'll never show these on American soil. People won't even know you're doing this, so it shouldn't hurt your image that much. YouTube wasn't as popular back then as it is now. But yeah, I agree with you. You should always have some kind of cash flow. What's your number 3, Chaz?
All right, my number 3 is Unlike a Virgin. And I might have it on this. You had it as honorable mention. This is actually one of my favorite episodes of the season. You know, you get to see E finds Vince a really good script. You know what I'm saying? Brings it to Ari. Ari gives him the fucking business about the shit. Then, you know what I'm saying? Then he goes to pitch it to Amanda. This is also the episode where Ari gives Vince the cold hard truth, and he tells him, like, when he asks him, like, do you think I'm a good actor? He says it remains to be seen. Hey, like I didn't sign you because I thought you were a good actor. I signed you because I thought you could be a movie star. And that's what we were doing. And that's what I'm on the path to bringing you in as a movie star. I'm trying to make you the biggest movie star I possibly can. Whether you're a good actor or not, it doesn't really even fucking matter. And you know what I'm saying? And I think from that standpoint, I think that's another reason why you kind of have to love Ari. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I'm here to maximize your strengths. Let's downplay your, you know what I'm saying? Let's disregard your weaknesses. Let's downplay those. Let's keep them on the back burner. We're gonna maximize your strengths. Here's what you are. You're a good-looking guy, and you have some kind of fucking talent. We can market you as this, and we can market you as that, and we can make you the biggest talent, you know what I'm saying, the biggest star and the biggest grossing movie of all fucking time. Okay, now we got to just keep trying to build on this shit. It doesn't matter if you really a good thespian or shit, like nothing like that. Not all great movie stars or huge movie stars are good actors. And you know what I'm saying? And the fact that you got somebody that's saying, listen, this is what we need to do to build you, to continually build you. And then you have your E that's trying to keep you in the crazy part is I don't even think E is doing this consciously. I don't think he's trying to.
That's what it is. It ain't even conscious. Like you said, it's incompetence.
It's ignorance and incompetence in this regard. Like, bro, you just don't know enough. He should, and you know what I'm saying. And then you see at the end of the season when he fires him, it's fucked up because he has to go try to get him. He goes and he tries to get him back, but he shouldn't. Like he really should just find other representation, but he wants to do it because he's so codependent on his brother, and that weird dynamic they have. So that's one of the reasons, and that's one of the reasons why I just love this episode. I thought it was a really good episode.
I'm not mad at that.
And since you brought up that episode, we'd be remiss because we haven't mentioned it yet. The Johnny drama storyline with my girl from over in Cairns,
Jacqueline,
and that whole thing. Jesus Christ! Like again, nobody could play Johnny drama, bro. Other than this dude that did it. This shit was perfect.
Why is he acting like this? Like,
bro, when he called and left the message on her voicemail.
Hey, bro, that was some of the most wild left field shit. I was not expecting it to go that way.
Hey, that was Marvin's room for real.
Yes.
Golly, boy.
Yes,
man. Damn, that was
drama,
good.
and you all, and everybody got somebody like drama that's just gonna be like,
He
if
gonna
you
take it
with
there
him
every
while he
time.
wilding out, yeah, and he's just like, bro, you gotta relax, hang up the phone, my nigga. Like, this is not what you want to do. You were gonna regret this. That's just
I
some
don't
Johnny
even
Drama shit, like
understand why
I
he was
said,
so mad though.
because he
Like
Somebody
had
gassed him. Somebody gassed him though. Like who was
yeah,
it that
but
gassed him up?
the chick
it
the
was
turtle
old
was
girl,
with.
the chick that
Ah,
Turtle
yeah,
was
yeah,
with, like,
yeah.
oh, like I lied to my boyfriend, like that
Hey,
nigga's like,
and
oh, okay, then bet she probably out
That
somewhere,
nigga
and she in
flipped the
France.
fuck out.
yeah.
Where the
I mean,
fuck are you?
like what? But seriously, nigga, hey, don't do that. We listen.
Oh.
We as like men, we have to do better. like, like, like we
And
have to
the
do
whole
better.
time him trying to spin it like it was her that was crazy like that though.
Yeah.
That was
Right,
what's so funny about it.
right.
Yeah, drama,
That shit was
man.
good,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I love that little small line in there. Like, I thought you was a little bit weird when you say you wanted to get on the computer every night.
Every
And like
night.
you said, he's spending it like she the one that wants to do it. She
Right.
possessive. So let's go ahead and move forward. I want to take a shot in the dark because there are 2 episodes that neither one of us has mentioned, or none of us have mentioned, in honorable mentions or in our bottom 3. And I'm assuming these are going to be our top 2 episodes, everybody's top 2 episodes. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But a mixture of Playing with Fire and Return to Queens Boulevard, is that everybody's top 2?
Yes, that's mine.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so let's talk about this collectively then. Let's just have a collective
My
conversation.
return to Queens Boulevard is 1 for me. Playing with Fire is 2 for me.
Same for me. Same order for me. All right, so we all got the same top 2. So Chaz, this goes to what you were saying earlier before we started recording. You had mentioned like, hey, was it difficult to kind of organize these episodes? And the one thing that I had in my notes was my top 2 were very easy. Matter of fact, I'll even say this: this is the best 2-episode arc in the history of Entourage, in my opinion. It's the best 2-episode arc in the history of Entourage.
I will agree, and for that, this is why I say 3 is my favorite season, but I feel like 5 is probably the best season. Although you said you felt like it was a down season, Spike. I kind of feel like this is the best season. Like far as
let me say something real quick, Chaz. We talked about this in our intro episode when we did season 1. One of the things about this season is we talked about if we would want to see Entourage as a darker series or a drama. And this is the closest we got to that. Like, what does this look like if shit get real? And it's not just all, Vince fucking chicks and doing whatever. I think this is the closest to it, and that's why I enjoy it a lot. But go ahead, Chaz, get back into it.
No, I completely agree with you on that. To be able to see Vince and the interaction between Vince and the director, which when he started seeing, all right, first with the lines, and then you know what I'm saying, you coming at me crazy, and then you're saying you cutting my lines, you coming at me crazy, you changing the different shit, and I'm like, I'm trying to be as cool as I can be to make this shit work. And then every time when they were in the scene where he was like, bro, what
dangling
do you
from the trees?
Want? Yeah, like, what did you really want?
51 takes. Scene 43, take 51. I'm not doing 51 takes of anything, bro. You're gonna edit that shit up together and find what you need, because I'm not gonna continue to do this bullshit.
Anything, and you telling me you can't?
But I will say this.
And you keep cutting me off too. You won't even let me finish.
Let me say this though. I kind of feel Werner, because I wasn't moved by Vince's performance either when he was up there. I was not moved.
He was right. That was what was so difficult watching.
He was right.
Because we fans of Vince, we fuck with Vince. Like we here for Entourage, and we see him saying that, and we're like, well, damn, nigga is right though. And that's brilliant how they wrote that, because I don't know if he was supposed to be right and we were supposed to pick up on that, or that's just how it played out. But that was brilliant writing, from the sense of if you being realistic as a fan and you watching this, or someone that watches movies, you're like, well, he's not really selling it.
If you got a
he
family,
ain't really doing it.
You absolutely right, Spike. If you got a family or anything at all to live for, and it's a moment where you could be living, like your life could be over, or serious injury could happen, there is going to be some more angst. I'll never forget. This is another story for another time. I never forget, me and Chaz was going to work. I was driving, and it was during the winter time, bro. And my truck, man, my trucks hit some ice. When I talk about spinning, and this nigga Chaz, I'll never forget this as long as I live. This nigga Chaz in the passenger seat. Whoa, Kyron. Whoa, Kyron. Like, we spinning, bro. We came this close to hitting the pole. Like, just that angst of, like, we about to crash out. Like, the panic in both of our faces. And we never crashed. Everything was cool. We went to work. But just that, when I think about that moment, we were more intense about that than, like, possibly dying in a forest fire, which Vince was in. So I felt Werner a little bit like, bro, I need a little bit more from you, bro. You got to pretend like you ain't never going to see your family again, your wife, your baby girl. Like, give me some of that passion. So, yeah, that's always funny.
Where was it, though? Like, that's the thing. You're an actor. What are you drawing off in this scene? Because he was not very emotional for, you know what I'm saying, for that. So, Werner was fucking right. But at the same time,
he was trying to get it out of him. He was like, that's why he was picking with him. Like, come on,
but
bro.
he didn't. Maybe that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to antagonize him to the point where, you know what I'm saying, you feel it in your motherfucking chest. Like,
unpopular opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Unpopular opinion. Werner's a dickhead of a human being, but I feel like he'd be a great director. Like, he's gonna get the most of what he needs. He definitely has terrible communication skills. So that's the one thing I will knock him on. Like, you be a man and tell Vince, like, nah, I'm giving your lines to him. Like, so to cause out any confusion.
I think I'm kind of on a different side from you with that one, Rich, because I think that was brilliant by Werner. I think that, like, I'm gonna go behind Vince's back. I'm gonna tell my man, I want to see how he even handled this. How long before, like, because his whole thing with Vince was passion. Like, you don't got the passion for this, bro. And I'm thinking, if I'm an A-list actor, I'm a nigga like Vince, my passion, like, the first day that happens, I ain't trying to figure it out with drama and Turtle and E. Like, I'm coming straight to you. Like, bro, y'all got me fucked up. This man taking my lines, what's going on? And I think that was part of the brilliance of what we seen with Werner. Like, I ain't even gonna tell you I'm removing your lines. I'm just gonna let the nigga take your lines and see how you react to it, to see if I get any passion that way. Because I've been looking at your films and I ain't seen no passion. And now I'm taking your lines from you, what's supposed to be pivotal to you as an actor, and it take you like a day and a half to say something. This is what I'm talking about if I'm Werner. So I thought that was brilliant.
That's a great point.
That's a good point. If that was your plan to get the passion, get the most passion that you can get out of that scene where that real pivotal scene, if that was your plan to do that, then yes, that you would think that he would have been holding on to that. But like we all said, like it, and you know what really fucking kind of like makes it weird for me? What did they show him out of them dailies? What did they show Gus, and what did they show Marty, and what did Marty see to make them say, hey, you know what, you're a good actor and we can use you in another role? And then Marty saying, hey, I can use you for the Great Gatsby out of those scenes, because I didn't see anything.
It was some shit we ain't see. It was the cutting room floor.
I always assumed that it was the shit in the tree. That, again, like y'all said, the shit in the tree wasn't great, but it was 43 takes. We didn't see all 43 of them. I do believe dude was being hard on Vince because he had this like level that he was trying to reach to. But I do think that any other director may have looked at it and been like, shit, it ain't that bad. Like, I fuck with Vince. He didn't fuck with Vince. That was the problem. So those 43 takes, like, I don't fuck with you at all. So all of these are trash, as to where some other director who might got some bias and be like, you know what, I do fuck with Vince, and this is pretty good. Yeah, I can use you.
Out of the takes you've seen, what of them actually worked for you if you was a director?
None.
Exactly.
None of them.
That's where I'm at with it.
But he had to. But to Spike's point, everybody else did say it was good. So Gus Van Sant said it was good. Obviously, Marty Scorsese said it was good, and Dana Gordon and John Ellis said we looked at what we saw and we both thought it was good. Like, it wasn't you that you're not the reason this movie's stopping. As I said, we're talking about these two episodes as one because they are kind of connected in a sense. It's almost like a to be continued. But when we talk about Playing with Fire, which everybody has at number 2, that's when Jamie calls Turtle. Like, after Turtle ran his mouth, like, so we see like she really fucked with him, and she gave him a second shot.
Drama. It was drama.
Yeah, it was drama. She really gave him a second chance, and it bothered me that Turtle was still like. We've all been in a situation where, like, keep it cool. Keep it G. Jamie called me. All right, man. I'm not doing the panic thing or the. Nah, I bet you want me to come over. Come over. Sorry for bringing up my mouth. Sorry once again for running my mouth, bro. Don't even bring that shit up again. Don't even remind her that happened. She's calling you in the middle of the night and telling you to come through. That's all you need to hear.
That,
Yeah,
and
we
I don't
asked
even
her.
need to know if it's a booty
He
call or
asked
not.
her,
Like,
That's like telling your
I'm
girl.
on
That's
the
like
way,
telling your.
nigga.
That's like telling your girl like a year later, like, hey man, I'm sorry I cheated on you last year. Like, what? Like, bro, shut up. You passed that shit, man. Keep moving. Keep moving, man. Turtle spinning
He
the.
just talked
Go
too
ahead.
much. He talked too much.
Talk too much.
He do talk too much.
Because he asked
And-
her literally, "Hey, is this a booty call? Who the fuck asked? Like that's
Don't
where.
matter
Listen,
what it is.
that's where all the cool points that like that Turtle had.
Dwindle down.
And you know what? I always say this shit, man. When you there are times in the motherfucker's life when if you really like a chick, that if you have some inner corniness in that motherfucking heart of yours or that mind of yours, it's gonna come out eventually.
Mm-hmm.
That was the time where it came out with him.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
He
saying?
couldn't believe it. We do that as niggas sometimes.
Yeah.
We got to be realistic with that. We all do that as niggas sometimes.
Mhm.
I can't believe she fell for that shit, nigga. Or she went for that shit, or she calling me or talking to me. We all think that as niggas. So it came out as in him right there.
Yeah, because I think all of us have gotten that phone call when it's like, was this a butt dial?
Yeah.
Is this real? That she really calling me? Oh shit! Is this emotion? Like,
Or
what's going
you
on?
read that text. You read that text. You be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm on the way.
I might have been like Turtle a little bit. Hold on, is this a setup? Like he was so shocked, and so stunned. He was so shocked.
Right.
Like, but I will say
Right,
another thing
man.
too that bothered me about Turtle. Like, bruh, just play your role. It don't matter what the role is. Jamie Lynn Sigler called you. That's what you do. Like I said, this is fresh off Sopranos. Don't worry about you really trying to keep me hidden, ducked out the way. First of all, I love jambalaya too. I love crawfish etouffee too. Like, I don't give a fuck where you take me. I'm with you out in public.
Care. Yeah.
We can do whatever. Like, we can do take in. I don't care. Let's kick it. Let me keep giving you this D.
Absolutely.
We're gonna have a good time.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I'm not asking any of those questions.
Also, real quick about Turtle, it opened up the door for the next steps of his character, as we mentioned. I did mention how we see some things that are talked about this season that come to fruition in season 7. One was he talked about hot girls driving limos. We see Turtle start a car service business in season 7. Yeah, limos. Yeah, only Turtle will come up with that. And then there was a mention of when the next episode in the finale, Return to Queens Boulevard, Vince mentions about he wants to go to Don Pepe's. And we see, I think it's season 8, where Turtle's trying to bring a Don Pepe's out to LA. So a lot of the things were kind of like planted right here in this episode. Mm-hmm. It was funny because in season 3, he did not tell Lauren London's character his real name when she asked, but we see him tell Jamie Lynn Sigler that his name is Sal. I think that was a credit or homage to one of his childhood friends. I know it was some kind of homage. I think somebody had passed in Jerry Ferrara's life whose name was Sal, and that was like a tribute to them by naming Turtle Sal. Let's see what else was that man told. Listen, Werner told Vince it looked like he was watching a high school play. Vince got fired. Josh Hartnett was offered his role. The meeting with Dana in the studio. Werner saying fuck all this. Like, I'm not an American. I don't know y'all culture. So I'm just going to the boss. I don't care if he's in the meeting. I don't care if he's with the board. I'm crashing his meeting. Them running down the hallway. That's just some crazy Hollywood shit. And then obviously the scene that, go ahead, Spike.
I was just gonna say I really love though in these 2 episodes how Ari pulled up though. Like, this is my dog. Like, nigga, I'm getting the helicopter. Yeah. I'm coming up here. What do this crazy ass German dude got going on? Y'all got all of us fucked up. That was one of my favorite Ari moments right there. Like, I'm pulling up for my dog, and I'm gonna make this shit right.
What did he say? The Jew is here, and I hate Germans.
And with the confidence that he pulled up with too. He didn't even pull up with like, I might be able to figure this out. We're gonna see what we can do. Vince is like, nah, you my dog, nigga. You right. We finna make this happen. Fuck him. I love it.
If I pull up on the chopper, my confidence through the roof too. Like, I'm here for business. I'm not here to stay long. Keep that shit running. Like, I'll be right back. I'm about to set somebody in their place. And then also just the quote that defined the season for me. Hey, we always said if we had nothing, we go back to Queens. And them on that flight, and the closing tracks. That's one thing I want to say about Entourage. The end credit, like, soundtrack has always been fire. They body that every single time. And it just kind of gives you that look of where Vince is. Even the stewardess, like, is that Vince Chase? Like in Coach? Nah, that ain't him. Like Vince is all the way down bad to the point where I got to go back to New York. Like, ain't nothing going right for me in LA, which leads us into that finale. Sometimes you got to go back to the crib to find yourself. I think we all can relate to that. Vince just getting back in his element. We never got to Queens. This is the only time we've been in Queens for the entire series, where we actually seen it. We know he did Queens Boulevard, but we've actually in New York with them, hitting all the old stomping grounds and seeing the family. I love the sign that said "Welcome Home," movie star Vinny Chase, and at the very bottom in small writing, and TV star Johnny Chase. Just Johnny always playing second fiddle. You know, Vince's mom sees an ad for a Gus Van Sant movie. Like, there's an opening. Joaquin Phoenix broke his arm. She brought the idea up, and E was really on some hustle shit. Like, all right, man, bet it won't hurt. I'm gonna go see if we can go get some kind of meeting set up, or he can read with them. I want to ask all this. This is my last question that I had. I wanted to say that we give E a lot of slack. Obviously, there's a moment in this episode in the finale where they get the phone call from Gus. I love the work, but it's just not right for this movie. And for the first time ever, we see Vince lose his cool, right? We see Vince pressed, screams out, fuck, throws the phone, the whole nine, and then he goes outside. He fires E. Told him that you're the reason pretty much that I'm in this position. We told Ari we was going to listen this year, and we did not. You still had to do it your way. Did E deserve to get fired? That's what I want to ask y'all.
Yep.
In that moment.
Absolutely. Because one of the most jarring lines that Ari said there when E called him about the Von Sant movie was like, I've been knowing this. Nigga, I don't read my news on page 6 or whatever it is when you wake up. It's my job to know this. And one of the things that E lacks is that thing to go out and Chad said this earlier. Like, why ain't I doing commercials? Why I gotta be we going back to New York because ain't no money coming in? Like, he ought to be on top of this stuff 24/7, but he's not. He's more reactionary than he is proactive. Like, he don't make shit happen for Vince. He makes it happen because it's Vince. And that's one of the reasons that I need a professional. I don't need a nigga who can, oh, okay, yeah, Vince is my friend and I can make these things happen. I need a nigga that can go out and make shit happen, regardless if I'm Vince or not. And he just showed that he didn't have that. Like, for the mom to bring that opportunity and her to know, oh, this would be a good idea. And me just now hearing about it, sitting here at the table with y'all, I ain't doing my job. Like, my job is to understand. I should have been on the phone with somebody at 3, 4, 5 in the morning or yesterday talking about this opportunity and trying to get Vince working again. Nigga, we here partying every night, coming in, whatever the mom said. We're not doing anything. Like, I should be able to have something traction area so I'm doing my job and I'm doing work. So yeah, I do think he deserved to get fired.
Chaz, what about you?
He absolutely deserved to be fired. But I will say this. There's so many fuck ups that he brought to the table in the past seasons. This was just one of many. However, it just, like, in so many things that happened to go Vince's way, it just happened to have a silver lining. But he absolutely deserved to be fired. And unlike Vince, I wouldn't go back after him.
You would not. You even. All right. So
even if it meant your friendship.
No, I would have did it for the friendship. I would have mended the friendship. I wouldn't have said you need to be my agent. I mean, my manager again.
What if that was the only way y'all could be friends, though?
I don't think. Listen, but y'all got a 20+ year friendship. Yeah, that's not the only way y'all can be friends.
But you know how niggas, like, what if you could tell the nigga was acting funny because he wasn't your manager and you knew it wasn't gonna be right unless he was your manager?
Here's the thing, Spike. I'm going back to the finale of season 1. Like, if I'm Vince, I'm telling them, I told you on that runway before we went to go do Queens Boulevard. Like, I can't fire my best friend, but my manager is replaceable. You knew this coming into it, so don't act funny if some shit go bad with my career and I got to get rid of you. Like, I'm not trying to get rid of you as a friend. And Vince did his part. He was calling. He was obviously in his feelings, ignoring the phone calls and stuff.
Was
like
he
that.
wrong for that though? Because he didn't feel like he was right and fired.
What do you mean? Is he wrong for that? Like you a
Was
grown ass
he
man.
wrong?
No, you a grown ass man. You don't duck. You don't ignore your boy's calls. You listen. What are you scared of? What are you afraid of as a grown ass man? Are you not trying to? Are you not trying to amend and to make amends? And you not trying? Do you want to keep that negative energy with you, or that surrounding that? Like
that's a good point.
Don't.
Let me ask you this though.
Let me ask you this. Things.
If you felt like you were wrong though, and I made like I'm not saying forever it's going to be this disconnect. I ain't never gonna answer your phone call again. But right now, I just need some time. I ain't fucking with you right now. It ain't permanent. It's just at some point, yeah, we will talk. But in this moment, I don't want to talk. I don't want to hear from you. Do you think he was wrong in doing that?
I think you say that. I'll pick up the phone and I'll say, "Fuck you, bro. Stop calling me. I'll hit you up when I'm ready."
Yeah.
Good point. That's
I'm with you, Rich.
Y'all right.
Like
y'all are right.
To me, it's normally a direct thing. If I got a problem with you, I'll address it. If it's the time for us to address it. I'm not gonna ignore your calls, but if it's something to where I'll be like, yo, bro, I just need some time for a minute. You know, once I get out my feelings or once I get out my head, I got you. Then we can have a real conversation. Sometimes you need to do that.
That's the worst thing you can do is just be like ignoring the call. Like I ain't
exactly,
you
bro. Because that's honestly
some bitch shit right there.
That's some bitch energy. That's some bitch energy.
And I would have been like Vince. I'd have pulled up because, bro, you're not about to just keep ignoring my calls. Like I'm reaching out. I think I did what was right, and I have a track record. I have a list of things that to say why you deserve to get fired. But I also told you, like, the friendship means more than anything to me, like more than anything, and that's part of the reason why people don't like doing business with people. Like, you know, obviously the famous quote: if you want to lose friends, loan money. Like, there's certain things that you have to preserve the friendship with. And anytime it goes south, whether it's justified or not, there's always some funny shit. So Vince can say on one hand, and we've seen it firsthand, all the reasons why E shouldn't be his manager, and then E could look at it on some Vince on some funny shit, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I definitely think you had that conversation, even if it's on some look, man, because E is not just holding the weight of being fired. He's also holding the reality of, you know what? I got to eat that because you're right. I did fuck up your career. So I think it's a mixture of guilt of messing up his best friend's career and his best friend actually holding him accountable for him. Yeah, he holding him accountable for you. You fired it, bro. You fired me on our mama's street. Like, come on, man. Like, this is the place where it all started for us when we were 6 years old, and you actually fired me on this same street. That's got to be rough. But I would not ignore Vince's phone calls.
It's hard to deal with the reality of, like, I use the mixtape rapper for example. It's hard to deal with the reality of, like, you can't do this. Like, your homeboy bring you his song or his mixtape, and you be like, bro, that's not good. Like, you can't do this. You should be doing something else. And that's what Vince hit him with. He hit him with the like, bro, you gave me a bad mixtape, bro. Like, what is this shit? Like, you've been wasting time at the studio doing this. Like, nah, we're not doing that, bro. And I'm your mans. I'm gonna tell you this because I'm your mans. I ain't gonna lie to you and be like, nah, it's okay, bro. Keep working on it to be better. Like, nah, this shit trash, nigga. And that's what essentially what Vince told E. Like, come on, bro.
Listen, the thing is, he should have never graduated from the role he had at the beginning of season 1. Honestly, I don't know what the role he should have is, but it's not manager, but it's not an assistant either. It's somewhere in between that, where you can, as a friend, look out for my best interests, my personal interests. But as far as the business goes, I have an agent and a manager who are going to make sure that all of that's in line. But I do want you around, whether it's a life coach, whether it's
more assistant than manager. That's what it is. You're right, Rich.
It's not an assistant.
Leaning more assistant, but not like I need you to go pick up my dry cleaning. But it's assistant in the sense of, you know me, you know how my career should be going. We're gonna run shit by you, but it's definitely not manager. It's somewhere. It's a hybrid between those two.
Exactly.
He is slightly above Turtle.
Yes,
he should have been slightly above Turtle. I've said this throughout all of our conversations, that he needed real management. I'm siding with Ari on that. The fact that he never asked Ari, who should I replace E4, is baffling to me.
Because that's the man's. The same that you don't do that to your man's. That's
No,
probably
it's
why.
not. It's still a conversation that we should have had. The fact that Ari had some real conversations with Vince. That's one of the conversations he should have had with Vince, though. You know what I'm
But
saying?
he
I agree with
knew.
that. I see what you're
But
saying with that.
you absolutely right. But I think Ari knew that Vince isn't like they have. How many times before this season have we heard people say it, whether it's Amanda Daniels or somebody else? You two have a very odd relationship. Like they're very codependent on each other. Kristen, I think Christine, whatever her name is, E's ex said it.
Yeah.
Sloan has said it. Ari said it. Like they all see that. So I think he was like, you know what? I've been dealing with this for so long that I know it's not going to change. And I've tried to have that convo, but whatever. If you want life to be the best teacher, then I'm gonna let it happen. Like you're gonna have to see one day that E is not the person for you. I do want to ask you guys this before we get out of here. Obviously, one of the greatest moments in Entourage history, and I think the biggest dog of a cameo appearance to this point. Because if we go back to watching this for the first time, that's why these two episodes are, I call it the greatest run, because watching it for the first time and not knowing how this is going to play out was great television. And then you see the build-up where Ari pulls up, and before I even say this, I 1,000% would be going to Johnny Drama's to get a drink. If that was a real place, I would definitely stop by and get a drink. But Ari pulls up, and you hear him tell Lloyd, like, get him on the phone now. So we don't know who this is. Like, and we see Vince, like, I got some business for you. Marty Scorsese, out of all the big dogs or directors we had James Cameron, Gus Van Sant, Frank Darabont. I don't think there's any bigger dog where if anybody's gonna get you out of movie jail, it's gonna be Martin Scorsese. Like that's what you want to do. He got the rushes from Gus because E gave them to him or agreed to have them sent. Do we give E any kind of credit for Vince being in this Marty Scorsese movie? And that's still
100%. And that's the thing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and you still don't think that E should have been the manager after landing that role? You don't think that was enough redemption?
That was reactionary, though. What I need you to do to be a great manager is you need to get in front of that shit. Like you were sitting at this dude's office for 6 hours trying to get him the cuts from that film and working through Ari and shit. I commend the motherfucking effort. Yes, nigga, that's great. But if I'm Vincent Chase and I'm trying to be an A-list actor, I need somebody to get that shit done without having to go sit in somebody's office for 6 hours. It was a great job, but after the fact. And that's part of the reason why he got fired. Like, you're good at this, bro, because you love me and you fuck with me. You see my vision, and that's amazing, but you're too reactionary. Like, you go out here and you respond to people not responding to me versus drumming up interest in what I'm doing, which is what a manager is supposed to do. I need you to go drum up interest, not be reactionary on the back end. And by happenstance, Martin seen this movie and now he's calling me, and by happenstance, because I knew somebody that knew somebody, I got to go sit in this dude's office for 6 hours to show them the clips of the movie for him to finally understand that you're good. Like, all of that's cool. And I commend the effort and it should be praised, but still at the same time, I need somebody that can do all of that on the front end, not the back end.
Be proactive and work with Ari, and really work with Ari, lock and step. That's what I would need you to do. I give E full credit. I do. I think that was probably, if not the brightest spot, that was probably easily top 2.
Yes.
With things that he's done for Vince. However, does not negate all the fuckery that you was on, and all the times that you dropped the ball. You still deserve to be fired. You still, and I would, like I said, I would have went there, I'd have pulled up, I'd have made amends, but doesn't necessarily mean that we need to be in the same business together. Like, we, you know what I'm saying, where you need to be my manager. That's all I'm saying. And when he even took the credit, he was like, yeah, man, you said a lot of shit that was true. Yeah. Just because it was out of anger doesn't mean it wasn't true. Everything that I said was true. You were fucking up. You fucked up a lot of shit for me.
You know what? You both of you make incredible points, because one thing that I have to remember is this was kind of, you didn't directly get me in a Scorsese movie. Yes, because everything aligned perfectly. It kind of was your persistence that started the chain of events. But we could just as easily be having this conversation. If Gus never reached out to Marty, then none of this is happening either. So it took some extra shit. It wasn't like it was all E and you put this emotion. Gus happened to look out and reach out to Marty. If Gus never does that, then we're still in the same boat. And Vince is still at his mom's crib throwing cell phones, pissed off. So we got to give E some credit, but maybe not the full credit. I think that this was just one of the best episodes of Entourage. Just wraps up the full redemption story. And like I said, when you're watching it for the first time, you have no idea what's going to happen to Vince. And then like I said, it's not like it was Spielberg or something else. Like, you back. And also, just a quick shout out. He did The Great Gatsby, did the Nick Carraway role. Obviously, the real Gatsby that came out in 2013 was not out at this time. But I just thought it was funny that the leading stars in that film were Leonardo DiCaprio, and then we have Tobey Maguire, because both of them are in Kevin Connolly's real life crew. Like, they're real life, like they hang together. They've been crew for a long time. So I thought it was interesting that Kevin Connolly's on-screen, team kind of matched up with the off-screen team in real life, and they did the Gatsby movie. So I just thought that was interesting, and I think it was a perfect way to wrap up season 5. Very enjoyable season as far as the storyline goes, and they're just seeing the ups and downs of what Vince was going through. There's not another season like it. I guess season 7, in a different way, shows some hardships for Vince. And I think we'll talk about season 7 when we get there. Obviously, we got to get through season 6, which I think is the last great season. I won't say, well, not great. It's the last good season of Entourage, like really good. There's some good episodes, and I think 7, we'll save our thoughts for that. I think it goes a lot of different ways because people have thoughts on 7, whether they liked it or not. Obviously, once you get to 7, the episodes start dwindling down. You get 10 episodes in that season and 8 in season 8. So we'll continue on with this series. It was a lot of fun having this discussion. Any last words before we get out of here, fellas?
No, man, I can't wait. One of my favorite parts about doing this podcast is I can start the new season now. Yeah. So I'm gonna start season 6. I'm gonna look at probably a couple episodes before I lay it down tonight, just to get in that feel for it.
Same. I'm gonna do the same. And Vince the hardships is over, man. Like, it's an interesting season for Vince. It's a lot of other people that step up in season 6 because Vince is just on easy street now. He back on top. Not too much going on. None of the stresses of season 5. That doesn't come again until season 7, but it is it has a lot of my favorite cameos and episodes in season 6. Looking forward to talking to y'all about it. Chaz, any last words before we roll out?
No, man, just I can't wait to hit on season 6. I started it about what? I started it yesterday or the day before. So
okay.
Yeah, it's a very enjoyable season as well, but it's really light.
It's very light season. It's that Entourage season, that feel that we get back to.
Yeah.
One last quick thing before we get out of here. One very, very quick question. We see E's office. If you're E, are either one of you having the Medellin poster hanging up in the office?
No. God, no.
I thought that was insane. I'm not having the Medellin. Like, that shit don't exist.
One of the worst decisions I've ever made in my life. Almost ended my friendship with my homeboy from childhood. Almost took him out of the business. Like, nah, burn that shit.
Yeah.
And Billy Walsh is dead to me. You dead to me, my nigga.
Hey. All I can say is, man, one of the many great decisions he made.
E wild boy, man. If I'm Vince and I walk in the office, I'm doing the same way.
I'm taking it with me,
bro. The same way Tony Soprano did the picture off the Paulie's wall. Like, bro, what the fuck is you doing? Man. This is coming off the wall. This is coming with me. We burning this shit. Don't ever bring up anything about Medellin again.
What the fuck is this?
I'm scrubbing that shit. If by the time you get enough, once Vince is back as an A-lister in season 6. I'm using all my power. I'm calling Shauna, the publicist, scrub the internet of Medellin. Like, anything that's got to do with that shit, scrub that shit. I don't want, as soon as somebody uploads something on YouTube, take that shit down, like all of that. Like, we're not ever mentioning Medellin again. For you to have a poster of this shit is wild. But that's it, fellas. Appreciate y'all. For everybody out there watching and listening, we appreciate you as well. Please remember to comment, join in on the conversation. We will read some of your comments on this episode if you decide to chime in. Until then, we will be back for season 6 next week. Y'all be cool. How y'all be cool. Peace out.
Peace.